Three, two, one. Welcome back to the Nerds and Words podcast, everybody. This is episode 68. Got everybody here, and we're just a little shortly after Christmas here, but we've had a lot of updates to Black Desert Online, both in NA and Korea. Looking forward to covering all that today. Today we have Blonbear and we have Kerr. Kerr, how's your week?
What's up, man? It's going. It's been going okay. It's been except for the last 2 days. We've had this tag event, so I've been playing like a million classes a day. It's been pretty fun.
So of the tag classes, why have you been? Sorry, I'm reading my cookie. I should have did this before we started. What classes have you been playing, Kerr?
Basically everything except for mages. I haven't got around to the mages yet. So like, Musa, Mewa, Archer, DK, Sork, Berserker, etc., etc. Pretty much playing everything at this point.
My goodness. Well, I want to jump into more of that in a little bit when we start talking about the class reworks. Glad to hear you've been having fun with them. If you had to pick one, which one has been your favorite so far?
I don't have a favorite.
What?
I've been enjoying playing everything. Just because everything is so much stronger than my, soon-to-be ex main, that it's just been really fun having actual PvP impact. It's so nice.
But it's fun to play too, right? Fun to play, right? Not just strong.
Well, I don't know, dude, because it's fun is subjective, right? It can be fun to actually, put in to body people. You know what I mean?
It's true. Some people
can be fun,
but you find it fun, right? That's what matters. Right?
Some people are playing Kuno Succession. I don't know how they're doing it. I can't stand it, but they love it. I get it though.
But yeah, it is fun. It is fun.
Yeah. So Blonbear, what have you been up to this week? I assume you've tagged a few classes.
I have been playing Zerker.
No experimentation at all.
So when the patch went live, I untagged my lawn, tagged my wizard, and converted all the gear over. Mm-hmm. I did my add-ons on my wizard, did my add-ons on my Zerker, and then I've been grinding all week on Sug Zerker. I plan to play a lot more mage. I plan to not play as much Sug Zerker, but I can't. I'm just having too much fun. It's way too much fun.
Succession, right? Beast Boy?
Yeah. I'm a Beast Boy.
So they made this change, right, where you can stay permanent beast form. Like, what are your thoughts about all that, and how did it end up?
So I said it on my stream that, like, I don't know if there's like a secret sleeper agent from PA watching my streams, but like, I talked about something like this or something similar like this in the past, but like I didn't know that I would like really, really want it or need it. Because I just like the beast form stuff in general for Succession. I feel like it's really on key and on point. So for them to just take it as a concept and then give us a little more over the last few months, we've had some changes where we get more beast form stuff and then get even more changes and then get the rework where we're just like perma beast mode, like all these enhancements onto it. I didn't think I needed it, but it's like I am having so much fun. I don't want to play anything else. I tagged a wizard and I played 1 hour of it in the last week. I can't stop playing Berserker. It's just too much fun.
I know you were super hyped about trying out the Awakened Wizard again.
Yeah, I played it for an hour last night at Turos after doing an hour in my Berserker because I was like, I need to at least put some time into it before I just not, right? But like Berserker, it got enough buffs to feel like I don't feel like I'm like a really average. I feel like I'm above average now, and just the comfort and fun of the class is just. It's incomparable. I am having way too much fun playing it.
Hell yeah.
I can't log off of it. Like, I just want to keep running around in beast form and jumping off cliffs and doing the beast jumps, and it's awesome.
So I've been testing all these classes out, and when I got to Zerker Succession, I recorded like a little snippet for a future YouTube video I'm working on, and I literally met Pilaku, and I run all the way up to the top, and I'm beast form. I just jump off the end and go, whoa! It is the most exciting thing, and he just slams on the ground, and he just keeps on running.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Like, they lowered a lot of cooldowns that just add so much more, like, it just doesn't stop, right? It just keeps on going and
you feel
going.
Like a monster. You really feel like a monster.
Yeah, they did a really good job. It's like, when they say like the Spider-Man game really makes you feel like Spider-Man. It's like this game really makes me feel like a Beast Man Zerker thing. They do such a good job.
It's like running all fours and everything. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm loving it. And there's like some bugs that are really neat and fun. And I'm doing like a miniature rebrand of my channel where I'm getting a bunch of emotes made and stuff like that.
Based around the Beastie.
Yeah, he's gonna be like the new, I guess, icon or character that we're just going to base all the emotes off of. So,
right, you totally need like the claw slash with the hands up. And it's just like ripping through.
We got some really cool emotes where it's like going to be a 3-part emote where he like runs, does the jump, and then lands and explodes. And we got some cool stuff.
Yo, that's gonna be insane.
Yeah, just some neat stuff because like nobody else. I mean, there's other people that play Zerker, but I feel like capitalizing on the emotes is going to be the fun part for me, at least, to use them. Right. I'm excited for it. So
that's awesome.
But yeah, I've just been grinding for the merchant ring. I'm at 980 hours.
Feels bad, dude. I saw Bio got his.
Yeah, congrats to him. He's going to be making a lot of money.
Yeah, he said he's already made like 50 bill off of it, and that was a couple days ago.
Yeah.
My goodness. The amount of currency that guy turns over is insane.
Yeah.
Well, for me this week, I guess it's not being like a week and a half or something because we had Christmas. So I've been working on this tier list basically the entire time. I've not stopped since we got the rework patch, and it's been going the entire time. And for better or worse, I made a YouTube video on it, and that kind of just set off Reddit, the Korean community, and everything. So I've had Koreans in my chat, and there's like, what is this? And they're kind of being polite, but they're kind of, you can kind of tell like that they don't really agree with everything. Yeah, they don't necessarily agree with everything with it. And the YouTube comments, I've been pretty rare to delete YouTube comments, but it got so bad that I just went through, and anybody who's just like purely like, screw this is terrible. Like if that's all you said, like I don't need your comments. So I removed like maybe 20 of those or something like that.
Damn, dude.
Yeah. So I don't know. Anyway, that aside, I had fun working on it. I'm still working on it now. Apparently 1,000 skill points is not enough to judge a tier list on. So we're going to gain a few more than 1,000 skill points on a few of these classes that had a little less than that. But yeah, it's been fun. So that's kind of what I'm working on. That's what I've been doing this last week. As far as Christmas goes, had that with the family, and then I had a family member test positive for COVID, but they were just. Oh, no. I think it was like the second time they've had it, so it was like wasn't a big deal. But I ate breakfast with them for Christmas, and so I couldn't go to family Christmas the next day because we had to reschedule everything. And on top of that, they was like, well, maybe you got it. I don't know, maybe you got it. So I got self-quarantined. So I've just been streaming and doing stuff, but it wasn't been bad. That's basically what I've been up to.
That sounds very eventful.
Yeah, it's felt like 3 weeks, and it's only been like a week or so. So, but it's not bad. Like I'm in good health and everything. I've had lots of Taco Bell and fast food, so that's I always like that. I'm like a glutton for like this fast food.
Did you see they changed their menu?
Yeah,
like the Taco Bell's in your area changed everything. There's no beef burrito anymore. They have all these $2 and mixture burritos. I think it's just to do with the inflation because
they deleted like half of their things that were on their menu.
Yeah.
Yep. The dollar menu is like 3 things.
It's like only like 4 or 5.
Yeah, it's like nothing anymore.
Yeah, it's all $2, $3. Yeah.
It's becoming real when you see the dollar menu become a $2 menu. That's gonna be it. That's really gonna be it. It's gonna be a $2 menu. That's what it's gonna change to. Look, we got a $2 menu. Oh my gosh, Pog. We got a lot of stuff to talk about this week, though. Where do you guys want to start? Do you want to start with the reworks, or you want to start with the Winter Zone or our patch this week? Where do you guys want to start?
Probably reworks, I think.
Yeah, that's probably
because I could go on and on about the Winter Zone.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, let's start off with like an icebreaker. What was your favorite and least favorite rework overall?
Mine, Zerker. Succession Zerker is my favorite.
And least favorite?
I can't log out of it. Probably Musa.
Wait, Musa Awakening or Succession?
Awakening.
What? Really?
as it seems extremely broken.
Oh, okay.
It's not at a play style. Out of like, this is ridiculous.
Do you not like it's PvE or it's PvP?
I think that, well, just from everything I've seen from the PvP, I haven't played it, but I think that I don't like what the class is doing in every clip I've seen it do.
Where he just comes up. What they added like forward guard break tome or something. That was like one of the things, and then now he has more super armor. It's like something along those lines, right? But
it's not looking too
yeah,
fair and balanced.
I've enjoyed him a lot when I've played him in PvE. I thought he was pretty fun in PvE so far. Kerr, you said you couldn't pick a favorite class, so what was your least favorite class?
I don't have a favorite rework, but my least favorite rework is Ranger Succession.
Oh, really?
And actually, Ranger Succession and Awakening Sork are both equal in terms of least favorite to me, just because they took, like, I don't know. It's just kind of weird, though. I think it's like this weird dichotomy we're in where people are complaining about Musa being able to just full run it down into the back line. But with how strong Rangers and Archers and Mages are right now, like, if we didn't have classes like Musa that can actually get into the back line, PvP would literally be unplayable. Like, have you guys seen how much damage these like Rangers and Archers and shit are doing nowadays? Like, it's freaking insane.
So you don't like the Sork and Succession rework based on their PvP damage? Is that what it is?
It's mostly just because like the Sork one is just a really weird asterisk to me, because it's like I don't think it really needed to become more protected and have its few openings that it did have covered up. Like, that's the weirdest thing. Like, I kind of feel like, because like, you know, like, people always talk about Sork as that like skill cap class where it's like, okay, if you're playing the class to peak performance, you're gonna pop off. But I feel like they lowered the ceiling while also lowering the floor, like kind of like or kind of smushed them together a little bit, right? Where it's like, there's a whole lot of, okay, you can play bad and still win much more now than before. But
I think the Koreans are bad at Sork, and that's the performance they judge it on, is like the Koreans.
I think the good Koreans just playing our games like League of Legends or Lost Ark or something.
It's like, if I'm gonna go hard on a skill, I might as well play something else.
Yeah, you know, why would you play BDO and go hard? I feel like it's how that would be. I guess the main thing is like, what would the Sork's weakness be, right? Like, do you run out of stamina early, or like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I think,
what
like, especially post rework, I feel like when you're fighting a Sork, it's not really you versus the Sork; it's the Sork versus themselves. Where it's like they have all the tools now, even more so than before. So it's like you're basically hoping for them to outplay themselves more than for you to outplay them.
Yeah.
Or for you to RNG grab them out of an iframe, because, you know, sometimes grab takes priority if they're both used at the same time. So, you know, the Sork was kind of weird, but the Ranger one is, I don't know, dude. Like, do you guys remember all the bitching and whining that Rangers were doing for the past 3 months leading up to this rework, and now they're just out here blasting people? Same with like Musas and Melas. Yeah.
Everybody that complained the most, it seems to be the classes that ended up on top.
Yeah,
like
so
just the
weird.
absurd damage. Like, everything else seems pretty balanced, and I think that if the numbers were just tuned a little bit better, it might actually be just fine. But I also think it's like a playstyle meta people got to catch up to. I don't want to say it's just numbers, although it seems absurd. Sometimes it's a matter of catching up to like the playstyle of the meta, because like every time a new class gets introduced, the playstyle changes for everybody. I feel like.
I think now, I like. What I kind of hope that comes after this is like they now have an excuse to nerf these classes and nerf them in healthy ways. Like, remove the every 4 seconds you get an iframe on Musa Dash, right? Like, that would be an easy nerf. That way it's consistent all the time, so you know how to play against it. Like, for like Ranger, like now they have back attacks. Like, congrats, like good job. But like now you got to decrease the damage, you know?
Yeah, I think they just need to be careful. I don't want any of these classes to go from like they're to like, wow, they're awesome to like back to
Yeah,
I just
like
want everybody to have a fun time playing the game, right? Like I'm having a blast, and I just
That's
wish
true.
people could share the same
yeah, I will
experience.
definitely say that right now, because I've kind of said this a couple of times over the last couple of days, but I think right now we have more classes that are viable in group PvP than we've ever had in the history of me playing the game. Because like we've always had these little metas where it's like, all right, witch wizard, or speckles of when Archer was first released, or people feeding suck zerkers and all these different metas that we've been into, and like sages everywhere, and then suck courser everywhere. So it's like I think it's really nice that right now we have all of these different classes that are playable and that you're seeing. So hopefully when they do go about the nerfs, it's more so about focusing on adding weaknesses to classes more so than just like cutting them down across the board and making them like unprevalent again. You know what I mean? Sort of like
Yeah.
Blonde just said. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't want anybody to like get their class trash can because of the overwhelming amount of like clips and things. Like the fact that like the 200% ulti is on a 30-minute cooldown. I still personally feel like that's absurd. It's like, why couldn't you just adjust the numbers a little bit and then like still have the fun part of that involved, especially with the Tungrad stuff coming in where like we're able to get stackable BSR to 200. It's like I really hope they take a look at adjusting that, because it'd be such a shame if like we get this and then we can't do anything with it. Like I just want things to be more adjusted, and I feel like PA is always in that boat of like they don't want to do minor things; they want to do one big major thing. They don't want to test minor things. Like in League of Legends, you'll see like a 0.1% change into someone, or like a 2 move speed off of a class or character, and it's like, and then people play around it, see how the win rate goes, and then it's like if it's better or worse, they judge on that. And it's such small increments that it makes these large changes. I really wish PA would do something similar, like each week, just adjust it a little here and there, see what the community says, see how people feel. But unfortunately, that's not what we get.
I agree. I'm a big fan of the throw spaghetti noodles at the wall and see if it sticks kind of like mindset, where it's like, okay, make these small incremental changes until they get to the right sweet spot, right? And
Exactly. Right until like the complaining stops and everybody's kind of satisfied. But then again, I feel like the complaining will never stop.
That's like what we do as BDO players. All right, we complain.
Hey, listen, it's the best game out there right now, right?
the way
complain.
The way I'd like them to see it is like I like the League of Legends idea, but like they have a season in that game, right? And they don't really have an end or a beginning in BDO, other than like our seasons, which are every 3 months. So I would like it to kind of stay roughly the same for the most part until next season, and then do a bounce patch. That way everybody gets their kind of like, they get their 3 months to have fun, and you better have a lot of fun because those nerfs are coming, and I think that'd be a way better way of doing it. That way people can look forward to like, oh, you don't like Musa being strong? Well, just wait until next season and it'll probably get a huge nerf, And so that way everybody gets to enjoy their class for a little bit. Because there's been too many times where like Ranger of Succession, when it first came out, it was like fun for a week, and then it just got nerfed into oblivion. You're like, what? Couldn't I have had like maybe 2 weeks or 3 or 4 or something? Like, give me a little bit of fun here. And then ever since,
definitely can agree that they need to find some kind of barometer for how and when they nerf things, because they like you said, right? Like Ranger Succession, when we've got the Successions, her PVE was like busted, but they like nerfed it almost instantly, like within a month. But then they let like Lawn be as prevalent as it has been this entire time, right?
And get buffed somehow. I just don't understand how Striker and
how did Lawn get
crazy
buffed?
It's crazy when I get Lawn and Striker sympathizers telling me, listen, like, come on, I'm not that OP at every spot in the game. It's like, are you like trolling me? Is this some kind of horrible troll where you're talking about how you're not like one of the strongest classes in the game when you can have like 260 AP and kill everybody? Like, are you like in reality right now? Like, this is some joke. Like, what? Some people I just feel like are not having the conversation in the same playing field or even mental level field. It's weird. But
yeah, I've been fairly surprised in PvE. I think the top and the bottom are now farther apart, right? The strongest class compared to the weakest class is now larger, but I think that there's more classes in the middle now than there's ever been.
There's a lot more that are pushed up to the upper half than the lower half for sure, which is nice.
Almost everything that I have played has been able to at least perform, and that's really nice. Awakened Zerk, Suck Zerk, DK. One of the few that I think is just like in the trash can is Succession Sork. Now that spec is in a really weird spot, and I don't know if it's just because Awakening is so good, but like it was literally taking me like 10 abilities to do the same damage that you can do just by doing Grim Reaper. It's really weird. Grim Reaper into Soul Reaver just does more damage and it's protected compared to Succession, who's having to pop out like 50 abilities in the same period of time to do a fraction of the damage. And yeah, it's but other than that, like I feel most specs are viable in group PvP right now, which is pretty awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have a hard time judging Sork Succession because it's such a combo oriented class. It's like if I go play Succession Ninja, like I know it's really good, but can I make it really good? No. I can go there and kill some stuff and it looks pretty, but then I start fumble fingering my commands and I forget which cooldowns are up and down and stuff like that. So I feel like Sork kind of falls in that camp a little bit. I'd really like to see what a good Sork can really do on that, and then judge it on that, because I feel like it's one of those niche classes where you just have it's like you have to put a lot of time in.
Yeah, it's and that's definitely, and also to expand on that more. That's more talking about from the PvP perspective. PvE Succession Sork, from what I've seen, has been doing really good.
I have no idea about Succession.
Yeah. We're talking about from the PvP perspective, not from PvE perspective.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea about PvP, so nothing to say. I guess the one thing I was disappointed about is some classes, like most of the pet classes, at least for me, it seems like they had just enough time to fix the pets and make them scale off your AP, which is amazing, but then it didn't really have much time left to kind of like balance out the class, it feels like. Did you guys get that same feeling from any of the classes you guys have looked at or played or anything?
Yeah, I hope that they keep messing with the reworks and this isn't the end all be all, because I know especially with like, for example, Tamer, it feels like they spent the majority of their time working on the Heilang mounted combat, which is really cool, and it was so close, but I think they ran out of time. So I do hope that this is one of those things where, once the holidays is over, like they go back to tweaking things and we don't have to wait, because normally we have to wait until like March to May to do like a big balance patch. So I hope they keep pushing them out periodically.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I think it's gonna be a telltale sign to see if they work on a new class and release that in like February, March, or if they continue working on like balancing the current game. What would you guys like to see more? Do you want to see like them start working on a new class, or just more balancing?
I don't want any new classes added to BDO for a long time.
Yeah,
I like the excitement and fun and hype around new classes in BDO. Don't get me wrong, I love it. I love the people want to have fun. But like when Sage came out, it was OP, and then people are like, "Let's get it nerfed," and they're like, "Well, if it gets nerfed, I'm not going to play it." And it's like that's going to be the conundrum every time we get a new class, and it's like just don't introduce new classes, because then you're going to get stuff like Corsair, and it's like I don't know anybody that has said that Corsair isn't like stupid, broken, annoying class, right? And I would just rather people play what we've got, even though I know it makes them money to release new classes. I'd rather them to just like stay where we're at, adjust things, get it fixed, and then like once we like everybody in the community is kind of at a point where everybody kind of communally agrees like at the balance of the game, we then start pushing in some new classes with like specific roles. I feel like they got to stop focusing on making it like the strongest 2-button class. It would be really nice if they could just give something a role, right? Like an ulti bomber class, or like a class that's like a consistent damage, like for like large scale war fights, or the tanky grab class, stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah, the current dynamics I kind of feel like is like you have a long range class, you have a melee class, it's like an assassin, and then you have like melee classes like tank. And those are like the kind of like the 3 meta classes I feel like kind of exist in BDO, and this weird support class thing I just don't think really works.
Yeah, I think so. In a perfect world, it would be okay if they keep releasing new classes, because you'd think like, okay, they're gonna have different developmental teams that work on different things. But personally, I don't think they have that capacity. I think so I think it's better for them to just take a break from the new classes. Obviously, they won't, but I think it'd be nice for them to take a break from the new classes and just continue focusing on releasing stuff to do.
Yeah.
Like they released the new RBF domination mode, which I haven't had a chance to try yet. Have you guys tried it?
I have watched a lot of people do it. I've not done it myself yet, but it looks phenomenal. I was honestly blown away by how good it is. I think it's going to replace the old Red Battlefield. I think it's that good.
Dude, hopping in with the homies playing domination.
Yep,
of course. Dude, I played so much Call of Duty domination for years in high school. I was like, I love that stuff, dude. It's gonna be amazing. My friend, I was spectating him in Discord last time while he was playing it, and it just is. I was like, that just looks like so much fun.
Yeah, I feel like that's gonna breathe a lot of fresh air into the game. That hasn't been in the PvP scene in a long time because the nowhere changes. Although they worked pretty hard on that, I don't think they really scratched the itch that a lot of PvP players had. And this is the most excited I've seen the PvP community in a long time, which is remarkable considering how simple of a change that it really was, probably.
Yeah, like I don't think it would take them very long to create something like this. I mean, obviously I can't really speak to it because I'm not a game developer, but it's literally just took the Valencia map and added a couple capture points, and then bam, you got a PvP mode, right?
Yeah.
So I hope they work on stuff like this more often.
Yeah, it makes me kind of hope that the future ones will be like an additional map or two for the same thing, right? The same game mode, or like improve it in some way, or maybe it's going to turn into like almost like a Mario Party. They announced something like that for like Lost Ark. So maybe they're just going to have like a bazillion different like weird RBF maps.
That'd be pretty cool if there had like a circuit and it just like you queue in and it just randomly picks something else for party mode. Yeah, different maps and shit.
I think the potential is really high. They just got to give it some rewards.
But
even it's like tokens that you redeem in a shop to get like cosmetics or something, that would be so cool,
bro.
At what point though does the popularity make them make it into a standalone game?
Don't say that.
Well,
it's gonna be a new whatchamacallit
considering RBF has been like a staple of BDO for a long time, I don't think, and how bad Shadow Arena ended up being, I doubt they're going to take the risk of doing that kind of thing again.
Shadow Arena domination mode.
I hope so.
I mean, you got to look. Shadow Arena has 23 players. They probably put like a couple $1 million into that, and it ended up with a big goose egg, 0.
Dude, remember they were doing that? They did that tournament when it first came out, where they were paying people like $100 per kill that they got during that streamer tournament. I was like, oh, there's no shot you guys got any return on that money, that investment.
Nope, none. And the sad thing about it is, like, if they fixed the lag of it, it would have actually probably lived on. Maybe not with a large player base, but it would have had a player base if it just fixed the lag on it. But that,
I think it goes back to the whole BDO thing where they don't know how to fix desync and BDOs. So it's like, and they're probably running on similar netcode, you'd think, right?
Yeah, I can't imagine they redid all the netcode just for Shadow Arena, I was trying to think. They announced the No Red Battlefield map, didn't they?
Yes. It is where it is in near Heidel, where the little three rivers meet by those bridges.
So it's like the bridge that goes over to
sort of near like where Bragi is, like south of like the Imps.
It's like Bragi to Reworks, that little bridge there.
Yeah, where those three rivers meet.
Ah, I wonder how that works.
A lot of people already like fighting there. Why not make it an arena?
True. It happens in nodes like every single time in that area. Is everybody just like crowds in the bridge like, you shall not pass, and you just have a little.
That's the GVG spot, dude.
Yeah.
Something I found interesting. How many different grind spots have you just been PvPing on all the classes, not grinding, Kerr, on all the tag classes you've been trying out?
Wait, can you say that again?
Have you just been PvPing and doing like RBFs and stuff on those classes you've been trying out, or have you done like any major PvE?
I haven't grinded for anything other than skill points in days.
So something interesting, because I grind a lot of Olins, and I'm in like private discords where people compete for numbers. The average like Olins trash has increased by quite a bit, obviously with Reworks, because of A, the shy changes majorly.
Yep.
And then B, just like the regular classes you'd run with. So like people like 2K was like something that was like, holy cow, like that's a really crazy tryhard hour. Now I'm making 2K with my, well, it's a really OP group, but like I'm making 2K on a Zerker with 2 shies, which is like, that's pretty crazy. We're also absolutely melting the golems. But like I still feel like I couldn't tell what was like doing more damage on my kit because everything on Zerker kind of got buffed overall. but I wasn't sure, like, okay, is this ability at which of these three are doing the most damage, right? So I was asking some Zerkers around, and different people actually have different opinions. But like when I was watching Steve play at Orcs, it's crazy. Like at Olins, I feel like I'm not really doing way more damage, but at Orcs, Steve is like literally tearing them apart. And I know I have like a few different gaps in gear from Steve, and it's just like, dang, like from what people are telling me, them being able to like be A, tankier just in general, and B, also be doing a lot of damage is like, I'd really like to see differences depending on different spots, obviously, with like the changes, because I feel like I thought, oh, Zerker's got like a little bit of buff, right? But in some of these other spots where I felt like at Orcs, I always felt like Zerker grinded too slow. It just felt really boring and slow.
Yeah.
Look like it's friggin' tearing it up. So I'd really like to see some of these like in-depth long-term grinding sessions.
It's pretty nice because like, so Zerker got a lot of things to like, especially for Awakening, just to like fill downtime, right? So and before, like, it was already decent at PvE, but it was so much like effort for the output, right? Like Succession was just so laid back, and it still is good. Like Succession still is really good, especially with the 100% uptime on Beast in mode in PvE. I think Zerker is one of those classes that have two really viable specs for a majority of the content of the game, which is nice. Like I think more classes should be like that, right?
Yeah.
Another one that I've been hearing and seeing is Awaken Lawn. Apparently, Awaken Lawn isn't like leagues behind Succession anymore. Like Succession's still going to get you more numbers, but apparently Awakening PvE is really good now as long as you're willing to, do a little higher APM with the ability.
There's a lot of lawns that I didn't know. Like I thought, like ideally, like most people would be Suck Striker. I thought most were Suck Lawns because it's obviously the top, right? But it's so interesting the amount of Awakening Lawns I know that like were Awakening before when Succession was king, and they're still going to be after. It's like wow, you really just like that version of the class, and just like you're just going to stick with it, I guess, right? It's just so interesting because like so many people try to chase the meta. So like when I find like all these people that at least for Lawn are like they've been Awakening the whole time and they're not going to swap, and then Awakening obviously gets some changes which are really nice. People are still staying Awakening. It's like, I guess you kind of got rewarded for holding out, right?
Yep. It's strange too because they didn't really change any of the damage numbers. It's just sped everything up. So like everything, like your passive now gives you, I think it's like 10% more attack speed, and then your skills got a lot quicker as well. So with both those changes, it's crazy. Too. Yep.
I didn't realize how like I had some like weird slow gaps and stuff on Zerker before, but the like my arm was sore from grinding because I wasn't used to the APM because all my abilities got sped up by like half their speed, and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm going fast. Oh, it's like every ability into the next got way more sped up than it was before. So like having that, I was like, my arm, I was like, what the frick?
I've had so many people coming in. I've had a bunch of people coming in saying, yo, man, it's so laid back and easy to hit 1600 trash now at Olans. It's crazy.
Yeah, 1700 is the new like 12, 13, I think, for sure. As long as you've got like a group with the right stuff, yeah. It's crazy. So like just the money, they're just going to increase because of the changes. I mean, your money's going to increase in most places, but I feel like exponentially Olans is going to be the larger
How much does that make it Caphras wise now? Will it be like something like 120 Caphras?
I've seen a lot of people doing 120 to 150.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very casually.
A
like,
lot of Caphras.
Yeah. I'm up to how many Caphras? 27,000 now in my bag.
Jesus.
Wait, is that like 500 mil an hour?
It's like 6 to 7, yeah. It is.
Yeah,
I don't know where the propaganda is that like Olans isn't really good money. Someone who doesn't like Olans has told everybody that it sucks.
No,
Olans is really good.
Really good.
I know who's that. It's people who are grinding there that aren't Blombear, and they want to keep that on the hush hush.
They want to keep the elixirs not sold out forever.
It's the same thing that happened with like Sakraya for a long time. No one told anybody about Sakraya statue rotation for the longest time. And then all of a sudden, one guy made a video about it on a striker, and then that was a wrap. Everybody knew about it from that point on because like, wait, you got almost 7K trash loot? Like, how did you do that? Wait, you're on another rotation that's not main? So that's probably what it is.
Yeah, I just I don't know, it's frustrating. And then like there's the predicament of people arguing about like, oh, well, my yellow loot scroll hour makes 1.2 bill at Bloody Monastery. And it's like, okay, well, I can run 2 blue hours in that. So it's like, I'm still making more than like you or equivalent. I don't know. The arguments are so interesting to see. Like when people come in my chat, they're like, I still make more than Olin's. And it's like, I get the risk versus reward is not there. It definitely is frustrating that the mental AFK like brain grind is more rewarding or seems more rewarding with the yellow loot scroll. I'm not a fan of that, but I don't know. People are begging for group content, but as soon as the group grind spot ends up being the best spot, they're like, ugh, I got to group grind just so I can make the most money per hour. And it's like, I'm so glad that like people think that it's not the best, because then like you don't have to argue with people that, oh man, we're in a group grind meta, and it's like everybody wants it till they got it, and then they don't want it, and then they're like,
and then they're like,
grind solo. Why can't I grind alone and make money?
Then they're like, man, I wish I could grind with my friends. I wish I could party up with my friends. But then it's like you got a spot that is good in a party, and they're just like, it's effort.
Yeah.
I think what's likely to be happening is just 2 different player bases, right? There's like a
the
player base
vocal minorities
likes
of each will say something when the change comes, right?
Mhm.
The problem is they're all the community. The whole part of them are the community, and so it's just like it's impossible to get like a really good balance on that.
I think as long as there's a solo grind spot that is competitive with the group grind spot, I think it's fine, right? I think the group should be slightly better to encourage people to group, and as long as there's a solo one, it's like close to it. I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think people are just concerned about the risk versus reward, right? But even right now with the tag event, people should be going to Olin's and trying it out. Even if you're doing like draughts or whatever, you should 100% be trying it down. Because
how much would you say, Blonde, that you can get without a shy? Like, because I know that you could hit a 1K trash without a shy before
without
the class rewards.
I feel like 1,200. Yes, I don't know. I think you could probably push 13, 14. Because some of these classes are crazy strong. If you're doing a bunch of non-meta classes, I'm not really sure 100%, but
because especially if you have somebody
at least 500 to 600 for sure.
Especially if you have somebody who has like a lot of these classes have like a 15% evasion shred or just some kind of evasion shred.
Yeah,
like
that you pop that and you go. I mean, it doesn't even matter. It just matters that they have the gear too, right? A lot of people go under gear and they're like, "This is not that much money. This sucks." It's like, well, the spot is like made for like 300 AP Kuden players, not for 281 people. 281 you can go if you tag Striker and you're like broken, right? But
people will see like, oh, I can just go to Orcs at 269 AP and 320 DP, and it's like, okay.
I think
just complex. There's so many things to think about.
I think there's like a problem that Probus kind of has put on themselves though. Like they've made a good 300 AP grind spot that's solo or that's group, but not one that's solo. And so you have, Ash
300 AP players going to Sulfur.
Yeah, but it's not good money, right? It's not good money comparatively. And like we need like an Ash Forest 300 grind spot, but it's actually good money, right? It has something that's actually worth it.
The fact that you see a bunch of 300 AP streamers going back to Sakraya, and it's like, wait, Sakraya?
Yeah.
Like 2 expansions ago? What are you doing there?
We need like another thing is that all the Olan discords are dead, right? Like,
a lot of them have died, and there's only private discords now. The Mirok one's pretty active with a lot of newer players, and there's a few community run discords, but most people have like just gone to statics. I think people are scared to like go and join a random group. It's either A, they don't want their group inted by some random, or B, they don't want to feel like they're inting a group of randoms. So like, it's like a half and half predicament.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that sounds like I need to get in on some of those groups, Blonde Bear, before you get your piece.
Hey, I'm still gonna be grinding when I get the piece. All you gotta do is say, "Hey, I got a shot. You want to go?" And then I'm there because
all right.
I love Olin's, and it's some really good money. So.
I'm actually.
I'm never getting the ring anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I'm really actually happy with this Caphras event because I pulled out all the Caphras from my helmet and my gloves, and I put it into my dandy, so now I have a C19 dandy.
Nice.
So, pretty happy with that now. Because we basically have that event right now where you can pull out all the Caphras and you get 100% of your Caphras back instead of 95.
I've been tempted. I've been very, very tempted.
So like
imagine, because like being able to pull it 100% and then also being able to sell it like with the merchant ring money.
Well, I mean, I think that you'd only do that if like you knew the price was going to crash.
Yeah, if you thought the price would go back down. But I think Cavris is only going to get harder and harder to
It's only
buy,
gonna
as
get
time
harder.
goes
Yeah,
on.
because
Especially with like the pin gear people can get, right?
because casual players are just starting to get into Cafricing, you know? So that means, like right now, there's only like 10% of the player base who are Cafricing. And
I
in
thought I
about,
was up in the DR, but I just don't know. I don't know. I feel like I don't know if like we know 100% with the artifacts. They could change everything.
yeah, it's true. Well, and
Yeah.
on top of that, for PvE, like, I don't know, it doesn't really, for PvP, it doesn't matter because you're going to die in one combo in either Evasion or DR. And
On
for
the bright side, on the
it,
bright side,
Go ahead.
I will say, if there is something meta changing about the artifacts, we'll see it 6 months before it comes here. So
oh,
Yeah.
come on.
it was bad, dude.
I really hope that Pearl Abyss is like it could be half a year. We're not sure, and then like they release it in like a week or so. They're like, just kidding, guys. We set the expectation low so that you'd be super happy when we release it in a week.
They're cutting it pretty close, dude.
Just give it to me in Korean. I don't care. I love Korean. Koreans are great. They made my favorite video game.
I can
Just
play
give it
this
to me.
game without English.
I can play
100%.
without English. I'll just watch a video later.
Yeah.
I'll watch a lore compilation.
Just release it, and let's release the English patch later on.
We just spam R anyways.
Yeah, we don't read that stuff.
I'll read the lore later. I gotta speedrun the first run through.
Let's see. With the new Winter Zone, they added a new starting area. If you want to get into that, or do you want to continue about class reworks?
Sure.
So with the new area, you can start in Duvenkroon instead of starting in Velia. But apparently, you have to be like level 56 on a previous character in order to start there.
Yes, I guess they're just eliminating the 56 grind by just putting you at 56 as a new character starting at that spot.
Yeah,
That's what it seemed like.
Apparently, you do like
I
a
think
little
that's a
short
good thing.
quest, and you go from 1 to 56 instantly.
The 1 to 56 is just like silly at this point in the game, especially if we're crunching things. I think that's like it's just like 2 or 3 hours or an hour of or 30 minutes of getting boosted where you're like, I'm not playing the game. It's just a time sink, but not even a good one.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's pretty smart for them to cut that, especially if we're cutting the gear gap with like seasons and then pushing more free pens, stuff like that, like the accessories and everything. I think it's good. Good catch up.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting that they can allow you to do that. It's also going to make basically remove like 1 hour of the grind from getting power leveled, because normally it'd take you 1 hour to get 56 and 1 hour from 56 to 58.
Yeah. Some people that don't have friends can like just play the game now. The amount of people that are like, man, I wish I could get boosted, but I don't have any friends. Like, come on, how do you not have any? Just join a guild. People are nice.
I actually kind of feel like the whole boosting thing, they should actually remove it, because I think it's just a sentiment of the early game is boring, right? Not a actually helpful thing to the game. So I feel like they should remove the boosting fact and then have this new thing, right? Subvert it.
Having like the gap where you can't pick up loot, you also got the gap of not getting any EXP or something.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if they're just going to create a catcher mechanic, you know.
Yeah, why not at that point, right? Because then
I think it's interesting, like especially for seasons. I definitely don't think you should be able to boost seasons or use the seasonal quest accessories. Because I used to be like really excited about seasons, and then we found out you can just instantly
put everything on them.
Yeah, you could instantly be 200 AP off the rip just by putting on the tri-quest accessories and the black abyssal weapon, and you're just like,
I wish they were like actually locked to the season. So like locked to the season, you can't do anything else. You can't go anywhere else. You can't even leave a season server. You're only on the season servers, because then it would just put the mass population there, and then that like the people see people, and then the community thrives, right?
I actually think seasons have been a big failure, because at this point, if you pick seasons and you already have a character, you're setting yourself up for failure, because you can't sell that gear.
Yeah.
And then Janita offers better gear than seasons does, so why don't you just make progress towards that instead? You know.
Yeah, I understand they're trying to push people from like the gear to the pen stuff, and then get into the pen where you're getting the easier pen methods. But I just feel like every time they do one of these gaps, they like miss a disconnect there.
Yep.
But regardless, back to the point of I think the 1 to 56 thing is great. I'm pumped about that, because I don't like having to bother people and waste their hour of grinding.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's also the thing, is where it's like you can't really confine people to just on seasons, just because I guess it would be overrun, right?
Exactly. I want it to be overrun. I want it to be absolute chaos.
It would be nice though if like the seasons was an actual like fresh start every now and then, and you rush through and push the gear and whatever, and obviously helping new players and giving old players something new. But I just that's kind of like a different subject. I just hate being able to equip full try accessories from the quest and instantly be 200 AP. Like I think that's kind of weird for the spirit of the seasons, but I mean, they could easily remedy that by adding, an extra 5, 6, 7 season servers if they really had to. But
I think the solution for seasons is actually really straightforward. You make it about where everybody can participate and not just new players or people who are restarting. And then you make it where Olvia has the season gear, and you can make one Olvia character every 3 months. So then if you want to make a new character in Olvia to get some Tavalla gear for a boss lord or something, you can do that. And then the season then becomes like a seasonal event where like the pirates invade or something like that, or like fog is over every grind spot, and when fog enters your grind spot, you get 50% more trash loot or something. Like little events that last for like more like Path of Exile seasons do. So everybody can participate, because I feel like right now the fact that only people who choose to restart the entire game, like I mean, some people have 300 AP. Like, why do you want to go to seasons with 300 AP? That seems a little silly. Why do you get out of that? So, going to the winter zone though, they had 3 grind spots when they released it in Korea yesterday. They have 2 spots that are 280. And they have 1 spot that's 250 that you can make it 280 if you give the little totem that spawns the mobs 100 energy. So
so it's kind of like the nighttime at Schultz thing, where you trade energy for a boosted spawn, like a spawn, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of cool.
It's interesting because they, with the new grind spots, they released the new Flame and the new Fallen God helmet, which is called Labreska helmet instead of Fallen God.
Yep.
And so they have a grind spot with like some Yetis in it. I think they're called Ginshi. And so you go and kill them.
The Yetis.
Yeah, they're just like Toros for the previous helmet. You get 100 embers. You turn it into a blue flame, and then the blue flame turns into the helmet. You have to have a C10 Griffin or Gaiath helmet. So I think that's pretty good overall. I'm excited that they have that in the game. I'm glad it's a new grind spot. Apparently the income of the Ginshi grind spot is like 200 to if you're like lower geared, and 250 if you're higher geared. And they increased the price of the old flame up to 2 bill instead of being 600 mil. So if you have one of those, make sure you save it.
Wow.
So
they raised the price of Turo's flame to 2 bill. Damn, dude.
Yep.
Turo's might be.
Hey, you want to go to Turo's?
Turo's buff? Turo's more money? Yo, Junior, where you at, bro?
Yeah,
how much?
Just in time for me to go for the Elviat. I'm so excited.
How good is Toros now anyway after the Cafris
Turo's
and
is
everything?
good. Turo's you get like 60 Cafris an hour if you're killing really fast. Probably closer to 50 if you're an average party.
Yeah,
but
I got 50 both hours last night.
yeah,
Okay.
Turo's is just really solid. A bunch of money, especially right now with Cafris being sold out max price. And then, the Ambers will be worth a lot, right? What's 2 billion divided by... Yeah, that's like, what, 20 mil per Ember? Because you need 100 Embers?
Yep.
I mean, that's pretty good.
Make a few embers. You make 5 embers in an hour. That's 300 extra mil.
I wonder if that means we're going to see...
Wait, plus the new fangs, bro. The fang change?
Oh.
Where you unlock all the fangs fast?
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
Turo's might be the play, honestly.
I'm so glad that's my next grind spot.
Bro, what's crazy about Toros is with our gear now, you can solo it. I went in there on Ninja, I was just soloing Toros. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Damn,
it's
dude.
actually nuts.
So-
Another party spot, man. Duo.
Yeah, that's my main super grind once I get the ring. But I'm not getting the ring anytime soon. So.
What drops some Toros that you want?
The Elviad, the fragmented Elviad. There's 9 pieces that you grind in Odolito. So I have 5 out of 9 right now.
So it's that item that makes it so that you can. It basically functions as a fallen god.
you turn
armor.
it into your quest line to get a fallen armor.
You basically turn it in for a fallen god armor.
Are you going
I'm
to just,
not going to do that.
you just
I'm
go
not
keep the
gonna do
pieces in
that.
your bank?
Yeah, well, because I like Link at 7 World Chat, so when I get the ring, that's what I'm gonna be doing every day, and then when I get that, that'll be cool to do, right? It's also something that no one's done yet on any of the regions. It's in the crazy thing is it's not even considered a treasure item because when you get it, it doesn't announce it in World Chat or anything. So
Yeah, I honestly
It's just
feel
one of
like
those-
there needs to be like a different reward other than the Black Star gear, because it's just too hard to get. Like by the time you have that, you're gonna have Black Star armor.
yeah, it took 600
God.
hours of Olins to get all 3 of the Olin pieces, and Jake Kuhn, who's at 900 hours, still doesn't have all 3 pieces of the
Yeah,
orbs pieces,
it's
so
even rarer than the merchant ring, in my opinion, right?
arguably, out of all 9 pieces in the grind spots, as casually as it is, it will take you more than the average merchant ring. Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
which is weird because like 600 hours of Olins is worth what a tent Fallen God is, so kind of weird. But
Yep.
you know, I wish it would give you like a try. I think that the amount of effort, time, and stuff that you put into it, because there's 9 separate pieces and you can get duplicates, right? I think that a try would be more equivalent, but I mean, whatever. That's just my opinion.
That's interesting. Speaking of Odalita stuff, before we go back to the winter region, they mentioned a Debreka belt for Crypto Wrestling Thoughts, but that did not actually come out with the winter region.
No, it's probably a future update when they change the actual grind spot. I don't think that the grind spot is where they want it to be right now.
Yeah, I think they'll probably end up changing it because it's in a really weird spot where it's like the way their evasion works, you're literally forced to roll to
Have
another
to roll.
class.
Either have to roll to another class, or you have to have an all accuracy build, or you have to sacrifice. You have to have so much gear that you can sacrifice AP for accuracy. It's a really awkward spot, which is the point, right? It's not supposed to be easy, and it's not supposed to be simple because the crypt is originally meant for like the merchant ring, right? So to add an item, I feel like they're going to be changing the stuff because that's the only thing that makes sense. Like
they're gonna make treasure items for the treasure item piece, so you have to get 3 of them to get the merchant piece.
Well, I mean, like they dropped the Deboreka Ash, which was arguably one of the harder spots, and now they dropped the Deboreka at the next Ash Foresty spot, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it makes sense. It's just they're gonna have to adjust the spot.
So they're gonna make a 320 AP grind spot next, and that'll be for the Deboreka ring, I guess.
Yeah.
Are you guys actually interested in going for the Deboreka necklace or the or for the belt? I was thinking about it. I'm not sure. Like, I don't really have anything else I really want to go for, so I figured I might actually.
I think the demo neck is awesome.
If you care about gear score, then sure, go for whatever's going to stack the gear score. But if you're talking about actual efficiency, the ever-growing need for accuracy in most things is going to lead most people to a Turos belt if they're not already an accuracy build. So the Deboreka belt is just not a worthy trade-off, especially with there not being AP brackets that are worthy past 305. And arguably, the necklace, although it's more AP, some people would still consider that the accuracy necklace is best in slot there too. Now, if they're going to get rid of accuracy and there's accuracy is no longer a thing, and that's just the way it is, then sure, yeah, things could change. But I think that it's going to be really difficult for them to, for the people that want gear score are going to go for it and they'll be like, cool, but I don't think it's the Deboreka necklace is probably worth it right now, but the belt is definitely not. There's just way too many other trade-offs you can do that are way more valuable, which brings me to bring up the new quest line earring that they give you in the main story quest. Did you see that?
No. What is this? If we're winter region?
Yeah, there's a Tet Dawn in the winter region that comes from the main story quest, is what I've been told. And kind of no point to go for Terra's Belt if you can just get the free earring, right?
Wait, what is this Tet Dawn earring? That's the one from Abandoned Monastery?
Tet Dawn is the accuracy earring from Abandoned Monastery.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's...
Okay, so it said Tet Dawn is 6 accuracy less, but still it's an accuracy trade-off accessory that you can get for not having to... Like, so if you're an AP build, you can just put on this accuracy accessory that you didn't have before, right? Which is really...
Yeah. Now,
I don't know. I think Dawns are dog shit, but
sure,
will definitely take a free nerf version of a Dawn.
Sure, right? Exactly. If you're not an accuracy build and you need to grind an accuracy spot like Crypt, what are you gonna do? You're gonna buy a 200 billion silver worth of accessories so you can grind in a grind spot? No.
Yeah, I guess what you're saying. It's kind of
I'm not gonna do that.
It's kind of surprising they didn't do that for the free accessory. Then almost, if that was their kind of like their goal.
It's an option, right? It's not a mandatory thing that you have to choose, I think, and that's the main deal. I don't think people in the early game know they're going to want the accuracy yet.
Yeah, true. Interesting. So then people can get, I guess, the Pin Kaposha earring, the earring from the winter region, and that's 2 earrings right there. So I guess the next zone will be a ring, possibly then? I guess that'd be the only other thing, because then you can get a full accessory set from Quest and the seasons.
Be interesting. It's a nice alternative because I don't want to have to spend a ton of money on buying accuracy if I ever wanted to kill anything with where I needed a little more accuracy. So
true.
Put on an accuracy offhand.
Sure, but you lose so many stats from Kudum, and then your crystal slots,
Just get good and be 300 AP with an accuracy offhand.
The accuracy offhand would be amazing if there wasn't so much healing in the game, because then you could be tankier with it and you wouldn't really care. But you need the extra AP to be able to kill people because of how much like healing there is in the game, and AP brackets and all that.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a nice free alternative, so that I don't have to feel like I have to buy a whole new accessory just to kill a monster somewhere. I'm a fan of that. I'm not a fan of being, especially when they offer because the whole point of accuracy is to build against evasion builds for PvP. And if you are in an accuracy lacking class, then you might have a separate build. Like for example, Sorks for a long time had a separate accessory build, which is, there's like different parts of the meta, right? Which I totally understand, and that's like I like the access to more accuracy, but people that don't need accuracy having to build it because they made a grind spot that way is kind of weird. But now giving us an alternative accessory so that, hey, here's your missing accuracy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just nice. I like that.
One thing I found a little weird is everything about the snow region just feels incomplete. So it kind of makes you wonder why in the world they just didn't delay it so they don't make the NA and like other audiences mad, like EU and stuff, right? Because the artifact pieces have apparently come out, but the artifact itself and the accessory slot has not been released yet. So that also seems a little strange to me.
Koreans having to wait for content. I like it.
Yeah.
Like how do we update the Korean client, but also not give them everything so the NA EU crowd isn't mad?
You know what? I'll take it. I'll take it.
It makes me wonder if, because they announced the alpacas, right? And the alpacas are like a mount you get from an event, and it just goes away later on, right? After the
I saw that the alpacas are temporary. I didn't like
the ones from the fishing event this week. Yeah, are temporary.
Yeah. Well, that's also what they got in Korea. They don't have the permanent alpaca. They get the same thing in Korea. They got the same event. So apparently the alpaca is just a debate. It's not real. It's like the flying donkey, the dream donkey. So I'm a little disappointed with that.
Mm-hmm.
There was something else on that line. I'm trying to think what it was. Let me look at my notes.
I really like the appearances of the zone. Everything so far looks really, really pretty.
I've been blown away by it. They apparently changed the snow mechanic, and the snow falling down looks like just really beautiful now. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like, comparison. And apparently this is the edge of the winter zone. I've looked at the map on it, and like we're just barely on the edge of the snow zone. So the Yeti grind spot, or whatever it is, the Ginchi, this is like on the edge of the winter zone, and the rest of it we don't have access to. So I think it's really cool that this is like just a sneak peek sort of into the winter zone, and I really kind of curious what they're going to do with the actual winter zone at this point.
Yeah, they have like a lot of area down south.
Yeah, like at this point this like update is giving us like 10% of the winter zone, and the other major part is actually like part of Odalita. So I was pretty surprised by that. You can actually pull up the map now and look at your map, and go to territory resources. And you can actually see that they changed the little map between Drigan and the snow region. They changed all of that to black in there. And if you're at the right time, you can actually see it snowing in the snow region, even though it's not out yet. We technically have it on our map right now. So that's actually really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing more of it.
Yeah.
What was like the biggest thing that you guys are looking forward to for like the winter region?
I want another boss like Olin's grind spot, dude. If those big old rock ogres, dude, oh my god, I hope they're real. I hope it's not just a quest NPC thing. I really, really want some like friggin' super crazy boss fight monsters. I think that the new dungeon and then Olin's has shown the potential for PA to like actually make challenging content with like pushing mechanics like burn DPS phases and actual like phase type combat that can still be like one of those infinite grinds where it's not like you do it once and you're done, right? And the complex mechanics that they've shown in Sikrakia just shows that Prolibus really can push it to the next level. although it can be buggy, they can push it to the next level. And I'm really hoping that this is a trend they continue with, because they always like are trying to change up the grind spots, and everybody's always complaining that the grind spots are like running in a circle is so boring. But it's like like having these like boss style monsters and mechanics, they're really pushing, I think, the limits, and I hope they continue with that. I would love more of that stuff, because it's just I enjoy it. That's what I like.
I'm trying everything in me to avoid any spoilers.
I'm not watching any streams, dude.
I'm trying so hard to avoid
It's very
spoilers.
difficult. We'll see like a video or someone messages me, hey, they did a preview, and I'm like cool, and I don't watch it. I'm like, I can't. Why spoil it? Like why ruin it?
Any spoilers?
Yeah. I think the main thing for me is like I'm trying to balance like two different conflicting things, right? As a content creator, I kind of feel like I have to know what's coming around the corner.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
And so that's like where I have this conflict, right? Like, what do I really want to like look into and stuff? So
yeah, look at how the sandwich is made, right? Looking how the meat's made, but also wanting to experience it fresh for yourself is a luxury.
I would like that in a perfect world. I want to have a lunchbox, and this I don't want to know what's in it, and then I open it up and I get like this surprise amazing meal, right? That's what I want out of like an update, and I feel like at this point I have to compromise, and I have to look inside the box, but I don't have to taste it until it comes out, and that's kind of the way I see it right now. So hopefully they have this out soon. When do you guys think they're going to release the Snow Region for the rest of us? I kind of hope early enough for February or March.
I'm hoping not March. If it stacks on top of Lost Ark, I'm sorry, but like a new game launch versus like an expansion that you can always do for the next 3 years straight and not blink by looking back at, it's like, why would you, right? I'm not saying every media player's playing it, but like it would be so stupid.
If they're not going to release it in January, I think they should wait till March, especially because like you don't have to compete with Lost Ark. You can't compete with Lost Ark just because people are so starved for something different. But what you can do is, once people realize that Lost Ark becomes daily Ark Online pretty fast,
about a month or so,
you give them you give them something to do that's different for a little bit and capitalize on that for like a week or two until they get bored again. So I think the biggest thing is just to capitalize on the post Lost Ark high, instead of trying to compete with it.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
I hope so. I understand your analogy you're making about the cake in the box potion, because like I didn't do anything with Global Labs. I didn't do any research on Zerker. I didn't want to see how it's being changed and then the buffs and the nerfs and get upset about something that could have been. I just knew there was some people told me, oh, there's some beast stuff and there's some other things, and I was like, okay, cool. Well, we'll see when it happens. And I didn't even read the patch notes. I logged in when the patch came and just was playing it and experiencing it, and just had a giant smile on my face because I was having a blast. And it's so tough, like you said, as a content creator, to want to push for new content because you want to keep the community updated, but also get to that experience over yourself, which I think I'm just going to try and keep staying blind. I want to be like from the consumer perspective, because I feel like that's the only way to get a really good enjoyment out of it. Because if we're going to see all the content that KR has and not get to experience it, then it's like Christmas losing its wonder. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like knowing what's in the presents before you get them is like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
The tag event definitely helps to soothe the pain of being the redheaded stepchild. I will say for sure.
Yeah, I actually have been thoroughly enjoying that. Like, I didn't think I was going to enjoy it so much. I've literally tagged every class about twice now. I'm getting really close to tagging every class twice.
That's awesome, dude. This event is so nice.
And
I just can't log off Zerger. It's crazy. I'm sorry, I can't even try anything.
I hear you on that.
Yes, man.
What's making me really hungry right now is actually hungry to actually grind for money, because I'm trying all these different classes. I'm like, oh my gosh, this would be so much fun to play. And then I have to go to the next one and try the next one. I'm like, oh, this would be so much fun to play. And then I go to the next one and I'm like, this would be so much fun to play. And then, so I'm craving a nice long money grind right now, where I just sit down and just go ham for like a week. I'm thinking about doing like a 100-hour challenge, like doing 100 hours in a week or something like that. challenge. I think that'd be
Ooh.
kind of fun. So anyway, I'm really really excited for it. I get we're kind of just bouncing all over the place at this point.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, it's fine. I mean, I guess part of it is we want to. You guys want to avoid the spoilers for the ice region. And I think that's fine. And so I think to respect that, we should probably talk more about the reworks if that makes sense.
No,
to
it's
you guys.
fine. Like it's fine to talk
I mean,
about
there's
like the
stuff
things
we
that are
already know
in
about,
it.
right?
It's more so
Yeah.
just when I say spoilers, I don't know about Blonde, but I mean like for example, once the artifact comes out, artifacts come out. It's like which spot is the best to grind to get which artifacts. Spoilers like that. Not so much like okay, there's this kind of spot there, and then there's this thing to do there. It's more so just like the nitty gritty stuff that you can actually sink time into.
The content part of it, right?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
The actual ingredients of the stuff, not the actual fact that it's a sandwich.
Yeah,
no, I completely agree. I feel the same way. I'm totally fine with talking about it. Just really don't want to watch KR do it for 6 months. You know what I mean?
Fair, yeah, very fair. I was disappointed there was not a harder grind spot. I've been inkling for a harder grind spot. We talked about earlier about Olin Valley not having like being the best 300 one and they're not being equivalent for good money. That's solo. I was really hoping it'd be like a 290 or 300 AP grind spot that would be competitive with like Bloody Monastery and Orcs. So that way we'd have, because like a big problem right now is people are over geared for Bloody Monastery, and then they go in there and they're like, look how much money I can pull, and you're like, that's not realistic for people who are not as geared as you, you know. Same for like people going there, like to cry with 300, AP or 310, and it's like who cares about what kind of gear score, what kind of trash you can pull, because you're so over geared that no one's going to be able to it doesn't really show how strong your class is anymore. It shows how fast your class is, basically.
I'm like half and half. Like as much as I want there to be, I don't want there to continue to be infinite growing money spots. Like I just want there to be more gear necessary spots, right? Like in the sense that like, a new region comes out and they've got like some of the like 280, 250 spots, whatever, but then there's like a few, like 2 or 3 300 spots, right? And even if it's not like the best, again, money in the game, at least it has a resource, right? Like if it's like where you get the most OP artifacts, I want that to be something, right? Like I don't necessarily care that it's all about money either, because I don't want the player mindset forever to be focused on money per hour. I hope that these artifacts aren't even sellable, because I just want people to like go and do the thing that they want to achieve, right? Like in for example in other games like RuneScape, it's like you can go and buy XYZ thing from the market, but like then there's things you actually have to achieve for yourself once you've gotten past like some of the initial grinds. And I want that in this game. I want there to be like things that like everybody has to do their own journals and everybody has to like go get things. And I like that. I really want to push away from the money grind per hour and get like the item grinds per hour. But it's so complex because we still want everybody's time to feel rewarding, and it's a really difficult thing to balance, I think, with the game.
I would like to see like compromises be made where you can sell like half of the product, right? But not the entire product. So maybe you can buy like the container for the artifact, but you can't buy whatever you need put in it or something. Or maybe you need maybe parts, you can buy like parts of it, but you can't buy everything. Or like Deboreka belt, you can only buy pin. You can't buy anything else other than pin. So you either have to make it yourself, or like grind everything out yourself, or you have to buy it for the whatever price in the marketplace at pin. But that kind of thing. That way it encourages people, to actually go there and grind and enhance it for profit. So, and if you're not about that, well then just go somewhere else and grind for money and then buy it, right? That'd be
I definitely agree that I like the concept of more spots that are based around a resource more so than like silver. So for example, like how Turos, right? Like Turos is good money, but it's like, you go to Turos to get the flame to make an upgrade, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like something that you're kind of pushing for that's other than silver. And obviously you can buy it if you RNG it, but you get the concept, right?
Of course, I want that. I want a lot of that. Same thing for Ash Forest. You didn't go. Maybe on RNG's perspective, from an average RNG perspective, you technically can make a profit, but you're not there to make a profit. You're there to either go for the pen Deboreka, you're there for a merchant ring, or you're there for a Tet Deboreka, right? Like, I like that being a thing. I want more.
I think Ash is the perfect example, honestly, because it's like on average, most people aren't going to make any money there, because even if for it to be profitable, you have to be like crawling Tet Debo next anyway.
Mm-hmm.
right? And if you're doing that, then you're
I-
already making less than you could be making somewhere else. So
My
Yeah, it's an
fear.
investment.
My fear is that we're like one patch away from this like tripling the price of Deboreka hard cap, and then it just ruins the entire grind
Dude.
spot, right? Like that entire feeling of like earning your own Deboreka, that uniqueness of grinding there for the item and everything, that just immediately gets trashed by this one update, one patch. And that's why I really want to, like, I really emphasize that they need to like remove some of the lower tiers off the marketplace. That way, it's like you have to make a choice, right? What will it be? That type of thing. Because right now, so many people are like, they pre-order a Deboreka, and like they try to get one because it's cheaper than a ogre, and like I just don't like that sentiment. Like that's not really the vibe that makes that spot feel cool. You know, I feel like it's like a prestige item almost. You know, I want that to be like maintained and respected by the developers.
Especially if it's going to be the highest item, right? If it's going to be the highest slotted style item, then it's like one of those things where maybe it should be pushed for once you can go there. You know?
I'm kind of
it's just going to be complex with the new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm excited for it. I think that like obviously I typically have this like mentality of like how can it constantly keep on improving. But I think honestly, like they're going in a good direction with like both like the game, and like their updates. Like the reworks feel like there's not a single rework where I feel like they went in the wrong direction. You know, like when Succession came out, like 60% of them I was like, these are trash. Like these are not what I was wanting. You didn't take the embodiment of what I was wanting to play and create it. But with these reworks, I feel like they, like all of them, if they didn't go all the way to where you want them to be. But even Tamer, I feel like Tamer made huge strides in the direction where I wanted her to be, even as a non-Tamer main, you know? And like obviously there's a long way they still have to go on Tamer. But overall, like,
I respect it.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy like what direction they're going. Like even the Caltheon Ball, like they basically felt like they're coming off authentic to us, right? And they were like, hey, we're not trying to announce anything new here. We're just trying to give you an update, and here's some snow region coming out soon, and we're ready to release that. And the alpacas and the new red battlefield map. We've already gotten all of those. We got every single one of them. And obviously everything that they announced we've gotten on schedule, which I think is just, compared to the Heidel Ball that they had, that's just amazing.
I do like.
Yeah, I will definitely say that I like that they did not give a roadmap. They were just like, yeah, we're gonna be coming out with this, and this soon, and you'll get like your Clash reworks on this date, and we're gonna give you an event that's gonna start with the Clash reworks. And it's like, oh, wow, you actually kept your word. And I like that they told us that, as much as I hate that they said that shit where they're like, yeah, we're going to give it to Korea and then we're hoping to get it to everyone else in the first half of 2022. It's like, I hated that, but I preferred that much more than for them to be like, oh yeah, we'll get it to you guys soon.
Winter 2021 and then winter 2020, then winter 2021, then winter 2022. Yeah,
exactly.
I like it way more.
I hate what they said, but I respect that they said it. Basically,
it's like they really are. Like I know
we're
it's
promised fish farms.
They really are listening to the community when it comes to like things they really care about. I feel like on certain things,
the Korean community.
I was actually really surprised. I've been hearing from I have a couple friends who've been playing Lost Ark, and almost every single one of them, they did like a little keynote very similar to what Probus is doing. And they did like their first one before
crazy one.
Yep,
it was crazy.
They did a lot of cool announcements, but almost every single person that has talked about it has been like, "Well, I hope they release it on time. I hope they like don't fall behind schedule again." And like, I'm like, this is like just like Heidel Ball, but now it's with Lost Ark. I'm like, so it gives me like a lot of comfort that I feel like for the first time that BDO has got like a one-up on Lost Ark a little bit, like that they're actually like going in the right direction a little faster than Lost Ark on something, because it seems like almost everything else, Lost Ark has got the upper hand, right, in both creativity, art direction, and like overall what players want to play and stuff, creativity and stuff. But in that one, like they're listening to that player feedback, I think a lot better in BDO, at least in that one example. So it gives me a little bit of hope. You know, I need some copium and hopium right now. I need some. But yeah, I was really excited. So Lost Ark is scheduled to come out in February, right? And in,
February 8th. Yeah.
and in Path Exile's new league is coming out in February.
Oh, really?
Yep, it's like early February. And then there was something else coming out in February. I'm trying to think what the other thing was. Elden Ring. I think it's Elden Ring, right? Elden Ring is
I'm
February.
not sure.
I think Elden Ring's late February. So February is going to be a packed month at this rate.
It really is, dude.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to have...
I know even Moro was like super hyped, so hyped about Elden Ring that he refuses to watch any of the trailers just because like he's so anticipating it.
Bro, I thought he was going to leave the podcast when we brought it up that one time. He was
I know.
he looked at us like, I'm going to click the off button.
That shit was so funny. But yeah, he's like really looking forward to it. I'm like, damn, dude.
Yeah. George R.R. Martin is writing this story, and then his literally the guy who's made like all the Dark Souls games is making the game itself. So it's like literally the best storyline writer and one of the best game directors of all time have come together to make a game. So really high expectations, honestly. Anyway, all that to say, if BDO releases an update in February, I think we're just gonna have to take a vacation for the month and just tell them we're not going to work. We're gonna have to announce like
Dude,
COVID-19 3.0 or something.
Dude, I hope they don't release for us in February, but with our luck, they probably fucking would.
I got I got corona. I got quarantine for 2 weeks. Yeah, that's not gonna have enough time. What else is there to mention? Calf and hunting. I was actually really curious. Kerr, have you heard anything about it? Is it good?
I was going to test it myself, but I couldn't be bothered. I lost interest in the process of enhancing hunting gear on the global apps.
Well,
But
it came out this week.
It's probably okay.
It came out this week on NA, so we'll see if we start seeing
Mermaid on top.
Yep. We'll have to,
Tons of calf.
if we see like what's it called, the Blackstones and stuff crash minimum price, then that'll be our indicator that it's very, very profitable. Because those things no one buys. No one buys those enhancing mats
They
for
have
manas.
been going down.
So if those hit like minimum and they start stacking up down there at minimum price, then we know that hunting is good. That'll be our indicator to go check. I've been saving some money for life skilling gear. I bought a pin Manos gathering chest. So I'm on the start. Is there anything else to mention about the winter zone? The pill bugger spot, we didn't really mention that at all. Apparently there's a boss for each spot. But I don't really know anything more than that.
It's like been a monastery, but instead of like you grief people to get the loot, everybody that tags it makes the monster drop loot.
Apparently
It's
it's
like you
up to
want
a
people
number
to
though.
come and fight it.
Apparently it's like programmed like Wells, where you only get only some people can get it.
Yeah, probably like 5 or 10, or like the top 5 people.
Yeah.
I think it's more than enough, probably.
Also, one thing I didn't like about it is you teleport around in it. I don't really understand how the mechanic works, and that's fine. But you teleport around rather than explore it. So it doesn't feel open world from what I've seen so far. And I was a little sad by that. I was kind of hoping for an open world feeling. But it seems like it feels more instance feeling. So I'm not really sure.
The Ojin Sinki is going to have the open world feel. That giant, like, winter wonderland valley, killing those basically giant ice imps.
Yeah, the Genshi. Yeah, that looks insane. I was watching somebody grind there for a little bit the other day. I'm just kind of wondering how much you can optimize it, because the people who were there didn't seem like they optimized the rotation. So I am curious if it'll end up being good money, but we'll have to see. Are you guys planning on making a Libresca helmet when it comes out?
I've got Kaffers and every fragment standing by.
Yeah, I think
sure,
I think I'm gonna buy one because I don't need a DP for any PVE grind spot. I can go to every grind spot, except for maybe Crypt Wrestling Thoughts. But So I don't really
For me,
feel-
it's just mostly having something that I can just grind out that's not based around me just pumping silver. I guess that's the nicest thing.
yeah.
It's like, something like I'm working towards the embers, and then there's a chance I get the straight drop flame, and I
Well,
don't
that's
know.
what
I
it
kind of
is.
kind of like
That's what
that.
it seems like, right? Because they showed this flame thing, which I thought it was a
Yeah.
main story quest. I'm kind of disappointed. Really weird.
Wait, say that again.
They originally stated in one of the Heidel balls it would be a main story quest item, so you wouldn't have to grind for it. But like, there's flames that you have to get the Lebreska helmet. It's a
Oh,
ice flame or winter flame. It's the
yeah.
same thing.
I kind of wonder what happened to that if you have to have done the main storyline. I know you have to be 56 to do the helmet. That's the only thing that I've seen about it.
Yeah,
Fif-
kind of disappointed, but whatever,
Yeah.
I guess.
I think one of the big things is they are having a hard time creating new ideas for loot at grind spots. I think that's one of the main reasons why we've been seeing them increase silver at grind spots instead of increasing like good loot. Is they're just having a hard time actually creating valuable
They don't want to
loot.
break the meta.
Well, it's
They're
really
very
hard to
scared
do
of
with
breaking the
power
meta.
creep. It's like
Yeah.
really hard.
Well, I think there's still a lot of items they could release. You know, there's like you
Yeah.
can do a boss accuracy offhand, and maybe you have to craft it. You know, you could you could do the distortion rings. That would be kind of cool. You could do distortion earrings, but it's minus evasion instead. Like I just feel like you could do like demi-human damage crystals or Kama Sylvan damage crystals. I feel like there's just a lot of different options there for them to like improve stuff. You could do like what are those little mobs called that in the ruins? I don't know what they're called. Robots. I don't know what their BDO name is. The like Histria, Sakraya, and Hashraf and all
Ancient
that.
weapons.
Yeah, you could do like ancient weapon damage crystals. Like I feel like that this opens up a lot of opportunities there, along with more cups. You could do cups like the cup variety is. I mean, that's just a ton of stuff you could do. So I don't know. I feel like they really need to come out with more items with these updates to make these grind spots valuable, rather than just increase the trash loot. Because the trash loot at the ice spot is like 20,000, and that's like half the value at least, right? So I don't know. It feels like they're missing the mark a little bit. Maybe it's what you said. They're just a little afraid of messing up the meta or power creep. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things where it's like they've kind of trained people to think only about silver per hour. So I think it's going to take them a little bit of time
Gonna take a minute.
to like kind of change people's mindset. As I definitely don't think it should be all about silver per hour, but when most of, if not the only content in the game is about the acquisition of gear and finding enjoyment in the acquisition of gear, and it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Like they kind of got to add other separate avenues.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're not like a person like Blonde Bear who has the dream of owning every treasure item in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm always down for them even adding more and more treasure items.
I hope
depending
so,
on,
dude.
like, what they are.
Listen, with so many people going for the Rich Ring, they got to release something, because I'm not going to have this thing for long over anybody. It's Choice. I see Choice in some of these private Discords I have, and he's just sitting there with his friends for 6 hours, and I'm just like, oh my god, he's going to get it, and then what? You know, frick me. So, I hope they do more stuff. Just like useless stuff that doesn't matter. Like the Elviad is one of those useless things that, like, if you go for it, you're really just being idiotic. But like for someone that likes just playing the game and killing monsters,
Like, why not, right?
it's a perfect item for me, right? And players like me, because there are more players like me.
Yeah. What would be a good treasure item for them to add?
Cauldron. You put all your elixirs in it. You click it once, and you use all the elixirs in the cauldron. Or just reduce the cooldown of each individual elixir would be nice, and not have it all on the same cooldown. That's just something that would be nice.
Bro, a cauldron sounds so cool. I love the idea. Just have this big magical pot in your inventory.
Yeah, dude, anything. Even something like just some weird shit like, oh, you do this hard ass quest line, and once you complete that quest line, you get an extra pet slot, or you get like you can raise your mob pull amount by 1 just anything
Yeah,
like that.
like
Just
super
some
legendary
weird
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some, like,
Ooh, that
crazy
would be
hard thing.
awesome. Yeah. The pet one is actually, I think, a pretty cool idea because that's something that only veteran players would really care about a whole lot. What did you say the other one was?
Something like you do some like crazy hard quest, and you can raise your mob like aggro limit by 1.
Whoa, that's
Something like interesting like that.
bro. You
right?
got big brain ideas. I love it. We need to do all 3 of those. We just need them in the game. One for the winter region. You have to grind all 3 grind spots to get 1 piece from each. You get the cauldron, and then we'll do. What would you have to do for the other ones? Valencia already has 2. What grind spots don't have a spot right now? Maybe pirates and abandoned monastery.
I mean, not even grind spots, like speed runs, right? Like do stuff like Mysteries of Summer, where you have to jump on moving platforms and speed run stuff within a time, like something that's actually just hard, because you can just outgear a lot of things and just put time into it, but like an actual challenging thing. Like in World of Warcraft, they have these challenge mode encounters. They used to have challenge mode dungeons, and they had challenge mode encounters called the Mage Tower, where like you were really put to the test of like your limits of a class, and it was not like insanely hard. Some of it could be gear checked, which was really annoying at some point, but at the point it was released, if you finished it, like you were really an expert like player in your class. Like you knew how to just absolutely play your class to the maximum potential, and it'd be really interesting. There was like trials and stuff like that, and this would be interesting.
I don't know if developers could make that though. That would require them to play the game.
Maybe one day we'll see. A fire cape. I'd like a fire cape, dude. Like in RuneScape.
I think like a emote, like they have for having the level 99 would be amazing in BDO, right? Like you get level 66 on your class, you get a special emote for that only that class gets, and you use it on any class that you play after that. Or like you get like Guru 50 and something, you get a custom emote. You kill 1,000,000 mobs at a grind spot or something, you get like a custom thing. You know, like I don't know, like I
cosmetics.
I love the idea of like more like prestige items. I think that's really fun. Something to show off. Something that I like. Something like
you want people to see it, right?
Yeah. They look at you and they know like, oh my gosh, wow, the guy.
They know.
Yep. Or they don't know, but they want to know because they're like, that looks awesome.
I'm like, oh my god, what is that costume you got? Oh, this is my Nuver costume. Why did you get that?
Sit here,
killed
Timmy. I'll
20
show
times. Spent like a bazillion silver.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I like that stuff.
Definitely. I'm checking my notes. I think that we've covered basically everything. At this point, we can ramble on about like what our thoughts are in Winter Region or Reworks or the patch. Doesn't really matter. We can go and talk about whatever. Or other games if you guys want to diverge into that.
So, when I eventually, maybe one day in the long, far future from now, complete the Merchant Ring, I'm going to take a week off and play KOTOR for the first time. The Knights of the Old Republic.
Ah.
It's like a super Star Wars fan favorite from like everybody that's ever played. It's like the best game ever.
This one has a lot of the Force in it and stuff, right?
It's a lot of old Star Wars history, I think. It's like really, really far in the past. And like there's really, really key iconic characters that people always, whenever Star Wars stuff is brought up, you have the people that talk about movie Star Wars and like comic Star Wars. Then you have people that talk about comic book Star Wars. And then you have people that talk about like the OG KOTOR stuff where they're like, oh yeah, well this guy, they always reference this guy that eats worlds. And I'm just like, I don't understand how that works, but I can't wait to find out they're playing this video game. Like, I don't know. I don't know what that means.
Bro, I thought Musa was strong, but talking about eating worlds, I think is on a whole nother level that I haven't imagined yet.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. KOTOR 1 and 2 are
I eat a whole lot
of the best games ever
I'll
made.
tell you that, dude.
They're remaking the games. I guess they're doing like an HD version. So
that'd be kind of nice.
Wait to take a week off and play those games and then come back and start pushing for Elviad. I'm excited for that. I have so many of my friends that want to grind like Turos and stuff, so I'm pretty pumped to like help people out through that.
Yeah. I'm waiting for that flame to go up in price and I'm going to sell it. I have one that's been baking my bank since I've been waiting to see how they were going to make the helmet or the next Fallen God piece, right? And now that we
Yeah.
know, it's ready to be sold. It's been sitting there literally for like 2 years or whatever it's been, year and a half.
Do you guys think capes should have their own slot instead of being bound to certain outfits?
Yes.
I think some capes on costumes are fine. I just wish there was an extra capes, like an extra slot. So like if you have a costume with a
Yeah.
cape, fine, but then there's like an extra cape that's like that's the thing, right? Because I feel like there's not much else you can do. Because like people can hide pets, and people can hide like a lot of effects and everything in this game. So like there's got to be something you can't hide, right? I feel like there should be like something more. I feel like the only way to do that is like through costume, because like
Mhm.
what else can you show off to players other than like linking and adding world chat? Which I mean, honestly, most people block world chat these days, so it's like it's not even a thing.
Honestly, this is a 3D RuneScape, and they should start treating it that way. All right. And it's a shame that it's been this many years and they have not realized they're a 3D RuneScape, right? Where are my capes? I need a little Groove 50 capes, all right? They need to get on it. Snap, snap.
That'd be pretty sick.
There are some really awesome things that progression wise for long term progression they could really take from RuneScape, because RuneScape's like the same thing, right? People talk about walking in circles in BDO and making money. I'm clicking a tree every 4 seconds to make sure I don't get logged out, or every 5 minutes, you know?
Mhm.
And I click that tree and I do that for 1,000 hours until I have X amount of logs to sell to the market so I can buy my whip and buy my whatever gear, and then, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's a lot, it's very, very similar in those aspects. It's just missing those other things, like the major quest lines, like finishing all your quests in RuneScape, or you know, leveling up a certain skill. I feel like that's the other things you do is what it's missing, and it would be really cool if it adopted those things, right? Like pets, like legendary pets from each of those life skills are very important, right? So that would be kind of something cool. Or like the single player raids, you know, Dark Rifts could have been those single player raids, but they dumbed it down to just an accessory grinder, and it's a shame because I think that really could have been, you know, one of those things.
Yeah, I would like to see Dark Rifts get remade. If they feel like a cool,
AFK.
yeah, they're a cool base idea. They just need to be made into something that you can do for a longer period of time, or some way you can like spawn them. You know, like something where you can like take silver and spawn them and do more of them if you want to do that, or whatever. You know.
Yeah.
I'd almost like to see like a dark side of the player base where you have like the guys who are doing dark rifts and the guys who are spawning dark rifts. They're like doing like experiments and they just spawn dark rifts. They just go to a grind spot, infuse a mob with some juice, and you're like, oops,
Once
made our Mexican.
X amount of mobs in an area spawns a boss for
Yep.
everybody, like a world boss style notification.
Mm-hmm.
Something to just make the world feel active. One of the things I love about BDO is how massive it is and how much of a real large world it feels. But it also is so like frustrating because, you know, it's also a large world, so that the interaction of people is rare depending on which server you choose, right? Like I don't ever feel like it's empty on Arsha. As much as people will exclaim, "Oh, it's empty on Arsha," it's like,
Dude, do you know
I don't
all those like old caves and things that are like hidden around the map that like people used to find and stuff that are just going to waste nowadays?
You fill them bad boys up with mushrooms.
yeah, they need more truffle mushroom spawns. Like honestly,
Truffle mushrooms on farms win, bro. We've been asking for
Dude,
years.
hopefully
Literal
soon,
half a
dude, 'cause
decade.
detections is so hard. I had to farm griffins last night. I was like, I did an hour of farming griffins and getting griffin calls because I was like, I can't freaking get these elixirs. So many people are putting so many pre-orders, and then these people like grind like Olin's like once a month. It's like, oh my god, please stop. Some people are doing frenzy hours and they popped frenzy drops and pulled 1,500. I was like, maybe
Ooh.
that's gonna be the
Oh,
better.
yeah, maybe that might divulge into that.
Well,
Especially if
maybe-
your party is like good enough that you don't really need the extra survivability from the defensive elixirs.
Well,
Yeah.
as people get more geared, that'll eventually be it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you can't access certain elixirs. Some of the more frustrating things is just like I've got the money and I've got the thing, but the resources don't exist. Like I've tried going for truffle mushrooms, but getting like 30 to 40 in an hour of doing polys is just not worth your time. It's just it is quite literally just not worth the investment in time to get them.
Yep.
And I've tried farming channels. I'll go into a cave, no truffle mushrooms, swap channels, still no spawn because they have like an 8-hour freaking respawn.
They literally just need a 5-man team, or even less, maybe a 3-man team, and their whole job is just to balance the game, right? Like they're like the team that manages the live game.
It wouldn't take much. It really wouldn't take much to see how balancing just a little bit of things could make a massive change for the video game.
Yeah.
It's so interesting that is not an active thing that's being pursued. Like, there isn't a guy always like making sure prices are fixed at like the right spots and not like being weird, or a guy that's not like, making sure there's no market manipulation between the amount of people selling milk and the amount of people buying milk, right? Like the fact that like some capped prices are on life skills is what literally makes it so you can't just do that forever. And like in RuneScape, it's a completely open and free market. You can put whatever you want at whatever thing you want and sell to any player you want. And yeah, there are some things that suck because there's people that don't want to play the game fairly or do real world trading, whatever. But like having like a very, very more open or free market that adapts would be just
like.
I definitely don't think we need to be able to trade, but I definitely do think that when you have things like Milk and Rough Stone that have had 1 million pre-orders since 2017, that obviously those things need to be adjusted for sure.
Like if someone wants to go farm milk all day long, let them not be their thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I've been thinking about it. I think this is maybe a hot take. All right, this is a little precursor to this statement. All right. I think they should allow you to AFK process cows, right? So you can just sit there and AFK process, and you get a small amount of milk, but you can just sit there for 8 hours, and then you come out with.
Dang it, all the cows are taken. I can't get my milk now.
Yeah,
I'm supposed to AFK milk train.
Well, that's why they have milk. That's why they have camels and goats. So you milk goats in Dregan, and you milk camels.
It's like the AFK dummies. It's like once they're all taken on a certain channel that has a bell popped all the time, you're like, frick, I need to swap channels so I can get on a cow for AFK. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
More methods, just acquiring materials, right? Like the fact that I can't buy lion meat to turn all this random material in my bank to something. I would have to literally gather lion meat for 2 months straight to catch up on the materials I have. The fact that that's a thing is like so absurd. I have to spend 2 months gathering lion meat, or I can't just get the material because it's just so out of a resource. It's just so absurd.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is, like, all that gets solved instantly by 2 things, right? 2 simple balancing things. Make it where we can get enough energy to gather all day if we wanted to. And the second one is raising the caps on the items. If those 2 things are done, fixed, right? They sit on the marketplace. They're there all day long. People are out there gathering them. The economy instantly is fixed. One patch.
It's adjusted for, supply versus demand and the cost of everything. I think will adjust appropriately. I mean, then again, I feel like it would. I don't know. Things in like other video games seem to work out appropriately, right?
I mean, before they messed up energy, meat was sitting in the marketplace. It just sat there. It was just there and everything. And now there's 1 million pre-orders on like fox meat and 800,000 pre-orders on like deer and wolf meat. And before it sat, and the only change they made was removing high quality wine. So I think like this simple increase the hard cap price allow us to get some energy. I mean,
I got it.
Bro, I would go gather if they fix the energy, bro. I'll go out there and gather.
A new treasure item that is a infinite energy pot that recovers 30 energy, but it has a separate cooldown from other energy pots. And you get it from having to do all forms of life skilling.
What, perfume? They make it a perfume. And a legend was a treasure item perfume.
Okay. So what, it makes you regen energy faster, I guess?
Yeah, just get 5 energy per tick. That'd be 100 energy per hour. And it's a treasure item.
Interesting. I mean, because we're definitely past the time where like having more energy is like overpowered, especially because grinding is so dang busted nowadays.
Yeah.
I definitely think, I don't even think it'd be that bad if they gave back high quality energy wine at this point, honestly, because things would like fix itself.
Mm-hmm. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for them to fix the energy. As soon as energy fixed, I'm life skilling. That's literally it. I haven't life skilled in like 2 years now, and I'm craving it. Almost as bad as I'm craving grinding right now for money.
Dude, I haven't grinded for silver since this event started, and dude, I need to be just like hoovering up this Caphras, but
Yeah.
whatever, dude. I gotta take advantage of this event. This event probably won't be here, or probably will never come back. So
The tagging thing. Yeah. Are you
Yeah.
trying to level every class up to 60 or something? What's your goal?
I'm most of them. I've mostly just been spamming PvP on them more so than anything. Just like I'll literally get like 1,200 skill points on classes and just go like farm people in RBF, and then pick another class, get it to 1,200 skill points, rinse and repeat.
That sounds fun, man.
And it's been pretty fun.
What's been the strongest class that you've picked up and you're just like, whoa?
I don't think there really has been like a class that's just like whoa. It's more so for different reasons, right? Like Ranger is insane because I'm kind of just sitting back, literally spamming Tearing Arrow, which does the same damage even when it's on cooldown, regardless. And that shit's stupid. But then it's like you also have the other side of the coin where you have like Musa, which like lets you get on top of them and like blow them up. So it's like it's kind of like the two sides of the coin, dude. I'd say Ranger and Musa have been the two like most insane classes out of the ones that I've played so far.
Well, yeah. Well, that's about all I have. Do you guys have anything in particular you want to mention? I feel like this. It's like hard to talk about reworks because you have to play each individual one, right, to get into the nitty gritty of it. So I feel like they're a little harder to talk about that. Although it's been an amazing update to the game overall. Is there anything else you guys want to mention?
I love Zerker, dude. I love Sug Zerker, dude. Like I was saying earlier, there must have been some GM in my chat that said, "Oh, Blombear doesn't think we can make Sug Zerker more fun." Hold my beer. Let me just.
I got you right here, brother.
Hacked in the code and just somehow figured it out. I was like, "What the fudge?" Like, because like there's I don't know if you guys like how extensive you've played the Sug Zerker, but like they literally made 4 or 5 abilities just extend your thing. And they made an individual button that also gives the buff to you, and it's just like ultra powerful when you're in that mode. And just everything is just so it's all beast mode, and it's just
you can do S and jump, which I think is your tackling jump or something like that. And it has the buff lasts 20 seconds, but the cooldown of the ability is only 12 seconds. So you can just use that every 12 seconds.
Jump, and have your full buffs, and and it's not like broken either. Sucks not like, oh my god, it's like freaking ridiculous. It's too strong. Like I haven't tried anything else, right? I've only gone to Olin, so I really can't say for orcs, which it looked like it was really strong at orcs. But yeah, I'm like, I just can't believe somehow the class that I already thought was crazy fun is somehow even more fun. I didn't think it was possible. So I don't know. I might even untag Wizard because like I was playing it and I'm like, this is alright, but I don't know. Maybe I want to just have something I PvP on. But then if Awakening Zerker doesn't get touched too hard, then maybe I'll just play that again too. Who knows, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Everything seems just so nice. I don't know.
All right, so everybody's been talking about Shy's 20% buff, right? They buffed their ability by 20% and they increased the AoEs. But really, how strong really is it now? How big?
Shys are very, very strong. Duo Shy groups right now. I've been grinding all like week with different people, different setups, different characters, different people, different gear, and a double Shy group almost always, as long as you have a competent DPS, I think is going to be able to pull 2K trash at Olin's, which is really, really good. The new cap that some people are theorizing in the Discord is going to be 2.4, 2.5, because at that point you basically have to A, double pull, which means you are pulling 2 large golems at the same time. B, you have to also have like no Afuarus killed. You only are killing golems. And C, you're basically having to play very, very specific meta classes, which we're still determining. Obviously, Lon and Striker are up there, as well as Shy. 3 Shys can actually pull like 2.1, I think, is what Jake Kun did in his video on YouTube. And then a Valk was able to get 2K, and a Suck Guardian with the buffs was able to get 2K, so I'm very curious. But that's also, again, like a typical hour, which I'm running right now, which I pulled 2K on, versus like people popping deep sea elixirs, which you can't get an infinite resource amount of, and also double pulling Olins, which I don't consider normal, even though some people would some people would call it normal. I do not consider that a normal grind session, but the limits are getting just crazy right now. It's awesome.
Yeah. I'd be curious about Ninja Awakening because the damage on Ninja Awakening is really, really high as well. So I'd be curious to see how he's able to perform.
Yeah, I'm trying to grind with as many people as possible. Most people just want a PvP. Not a lot of people are killing monsters.
Hey, I've been trying to grind with you, Blonde, but you got all these shies now, dude. You hold them all hostage.
That and my my holiday was pretty busy. That and dude, I'm like on call every day. I was on call yesterday, and I'm still on call today. And everybody on my shift at work is getting sick because some idiot went to work with COVID. He was like sick. He came to work sick. We didn't know he had COVID. Then he goes home and he's like, guys, I tested positive for COVID. And it's like, great. You like handed me my food when I went to work. That's not good. So like, I didn't want to even like go see my family because I didn't want to even have the chance of spreading it to like my freaking grandma, which I haven't seen her for 2 years because of COVID. So it's like, it's just been a mess. And like, my wife wasn't feeling good this week and I wasn't feeling good. And like, now I got like a sore throat. So it's like, I'm like good and then I'm not, and then I'm good and I'm not. So it's like, dude, it's freaking chaos. But I'm trying to get some more time as soon as I can get like these sessions open. I'm trying to hit 1K hours though. Once I hit 1K hours, I know that I'm never going to get this thing. And then, the desperation's there and I just lost all hope, right? So once I hit 1K, dude, I'll be just doing whatever I can to get people. So.
Kerr, if Bum Bear's too busy, we'll make a group. We can make it happen.
Yeah, dude. Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
Good.
So Blonde, I watched the first 2 episodes of that show that you were telling me about, The Haunting at Hill House, yesterday.
That one.
And
Darn
it's
it.
really freaking good.
That one's good. That one is very good, yeah. But Dark, you should watch Dark. Please watch.
I still
Dark.
gotta watch Dark, dude. I
Dark
don't know how
is
much
so
TV you watch, Potion, but
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Blonde is like the TV
Like
/show/movie connoisseur. All right.
do
So
you
if
have
you're
time for
ever
all
looking
this?
for something to watch,
I used to. I don't as much anymore. But I try to keep up with the new stuff. But
1,000 hours
I
of
have a lot
Olin
of-
Valley. Guys going to work all day, and
Dude.
then on top of these, watched all the movies.
I got some downtime at work, so because I work overnight, so like when everybody's asleep and nobody's calling 911, I sometimes will maybe watch a movie.
Ah.
nice.
I won't tell anybody.
Sometimes.
Well, I mean, obviously, you're just saying theoretically, right? That would be possible or something.
Allegedly, it's
You would
happened.
never do that, yeah, of course.
Listen, I've been getting some crazy CPR calls recently, and I'm like getting really comfortable and good. Like obviously, like for a long time, I felt good at my job. But like you don't get a lot of people are dying, and you need to give all these instructions really quickly all the time. That doesn't happen all the time. It's pretty rare. Spread across all these other dispatchers and stuff. But recently, I've been getting a lot of people overdosing and people dying, and these CPR instructions. And I've been getting so many of those calls. I'm getting really, really good at giving CPR instructions and everything. Like I literally had because they do QAs, quality assurance for our stuff, and like I had a CPR call, and like they were like, "Hey, you did a great job," and all this stuff, and I'm like, "Good," because I feel like I've been doing 1 million of these every freaking week. So it's really nice to like finally feel like I'm, hitting a point where it's like, okay, I can give CPR in my sleep if I wanted to, So.
That sounds stressful AF, bro. Not gonna lie.
Bro, this guy's de-stressing with horror movies.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I get you. I get it. All right.
Yeah.
This guy grinds 1,000 hours of Olin Valley, doesn't get his compass part, or his Rich Merchant Ring part, I mean. And then on top of that, he's getting these crazy calls at work. I mean, he's got de-stress. He's got de-stress. At this point, I can't hold it against you anymore, Like,
killing Olins, killing rocks is the de-stress. Dude, it's crazy. People are like, how do you grind 10 hours a day when you work a full-time job? I'm like, I don't grind 10 hours a day. I grind like 3. I get 3 in the morning. That's it. People think that it's because of 1,000 hours. It's like, dude, it's been 1,000 hours over the course of a year.
Yep.
Like a whole year.
Yep, 300 days. 3 hours a day. That's 900 right there.
That is literally it. You know what I mean? But,
All right. Since we're talking about different stuff right now, what is a grind spot you'd like to see them release in the future? Or what would be a grind spot you'd like to see them rework in the future?
I want that rock ogre spot. That rock ogre spot, make it similar to like Shadow of the Colossus style, where you can like he puts his fist down to punch the ground, you dodge it or iframe it, then you hop onto his fist, And then when he like tries to hit you off, you like jump onto his head, and then you start like a small DPS combo on his head.
Cinematics. You want the cinematic combos, dude? You got to press AWSD.
You gotta hit E as fast as possible, like while you're slapping his head with your weapon. It'd be really interesting.
Dude, this guy's gonna think he's got a monkey climbing on him.
Those dudes are so big. I like I said last time we were talking about it. Like they looked big, and then they got closer, and I'm like, oh, those are really really big. Then he like literally is right next to one. It's like, oh my god, it's huge. Like that's huge.
If you really don't know what they're talking about, they showed a trailer for the winter region of the Duvenkroon New Player Start Zone, and your graduation of the starter zone is you have to do this quest with Jordine and Dregan, and there's like these big giant guys. You have to like stealthily crouch around and like absorb some power to become 56 or whatever. So anyway, it's a really cool quest line. That's what he's talking about. I didn't see an icon on the map for it, but they don't have an icon on the map for ogres either. So we'll have to see. Maybe that's how you get the artifacts. That'd be awesome. You have to kill one and you get your artifact. To kill the second one to get a second artifact. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. That'd be awesome if that's how you actually would acquire it.
Yeah, I just feel like we have a million trash spots. So having like more boss style monster spots, I didn't think would be possible to make profitable, and I was proved wrong when Olin's became a really successful spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not crazy about more grind spots. It's kind of whatever. I just rather them just add more things to do with the gear more so than add more avenues for silver/gear. Like obviously if we had to pick, I would prefer more Olan style spots where it's like, okay, you actually got to pay attention to the mechanics and you get rewarded for it more so than, turn my brain off in Dynasty Warriors, which I do like, turn my brain off in Dynasty Warriors as well, but I just want more things to do with the gear more so.
You know what I want them to do? I want them to like do it at the abandoned monastery, but they do it for the entire grind spot. Because I think some of the old grind spots like are pretty cool. I'd really like to see some of them updated where like I don't know, like it doesn't matter. You can update Akban or Histria, right? Make that like a new 300 AP grind spot. Give it a ton of mechanics. Make it like an open world dungeon. Like why does it have to be an instance dungeon? Right? Why can't it just be a grind spot? And then there's just mechanics you have to do in order to not die, or in order to like unlock the next room or whatever, or something like that. Like there could be some really interesting mechanics of that. Add an actual grind spot to make it fun. So that's why I kind of want to see in the future. Is I'd like to see more mechanics of the same grind spot that make it feel more like an open world dungeon.
Yeah, I can see that, honestly.
I mean, I'm all for exactly what Kerr said too. If they just make more things to do, it's so difficult again to balance. Like I played a lot of World of Warcraft where like, you have things that are like daily chores and stuff, and like staying away, keeping it not daily, sort of like the weekly for the dungeon is fun because I don't feel like I have to do it every single day because it's the only profitable thing to do. Just like I don't have to do a group grind style because it's not the most profitable, but I choose to because I enjoy it and it's good. But also like wanting more things to do, but not making it feel like you have to do it because you still just like playing the game. I don't know how. I don't design games, I play them, right? So I don't know really what they could do, but making more of those things, like making more Altar of Blood style things, or making Savage Rift, but making it something that like is just something to do with all the time and effort you've put in the game and the gear. In that RuneScape style where it's like a raid encounter or a boss encounter or something that you're doing, like more PvP modes, that stuff is very, very important. I completely agree, Kerr, that I would like more of that 100%.
What would be some samples of that kind of thing you could do for like open world? I guess you could make like more like blue whale type stuff where like you have a new ship you have to get and you have to harpoon the fish or something like that. Like have little like things like that you could add.
It's complex, right? Because we can design it similar to what was that game, that Tom Clancy game, where like it was like there was like a zone where you could PvP in, and it was like an open world, but you like got items.
With the dark zone and all that.
The dark zone, so like there's a place where you can PvP, but there's care packages and items to collect and like little quests and things. The Division, yeah. Like if there was like pop up like zonal type quests, like in World of Warcraft they have your, And again, I hate to compare it to World of Warcraft, but like I have to compare it to another game because I don't have an inspirational point to pull it from. Is like they have World Quest, where there's a zone of things you can do to get like little materials for X, Y, or Z random thing. And it's not as like monotonous as like, oh, I have to kill 5,000 monsters. It's like, oh, I'm going to run in this area with some friends, kill these things, run to the next area, go complete my things. But keeping it away from feeling like a daily activity is, I think, one of the most complex things game developers have to figure out. Make it not feel like a daily, but make it something they do daily. You know what I mean? It's rough. I don't know.
I mean, I think there's a lot of things right now in BDO where if you just take those and expand them, like I talked about earlier on my stream today, like the repairing gear. Like repairing gear right now is like boring. It's like, why can't we make it where your gear takes like a month to wear out, but once it wears out, you could either buy materials at the marketplace to repair your gear, right? You have to buy sharps, hards, memory fragments to repair your gear back up, or you could like hire workers to repair your gear, and it takes your gear a while to repair your gear, or you could hire a blacksmith, and it costs a lot of silver to repair your gear. And so you could have like all these different like items, like different avenues for it, and it turns like what would be otherwise a boring activity, and you have now 3 choices, right? Either buy items from the marketplace, you pay the blacksmith a lot of money, or you give it to your workers, and it's extremely cheap, but you have to wait a little bit of time maybe. So like you'd have like, I think you like this is an example of how you can take something that's boring in the game and you can make it more like more involved. Or like right now, if like fishing is another example, right? Why is harpooning like a mini game? Like make it where I can see the fish and I can spear the fish. I
definitely do think they need to do some kind of like life skill revamp where it's making the life skills more interactive and bringing more of them into relevancy. I definitely do agree with that.
Yeah. And I don't know like the solution for that, but I think that there's a lot of cool ideas already in BDO that are just like that are cool ideas, but just are either unfinished or not kept up. And almost all life skills are like that. Altar of Altara is like that. There's just a lot of things that are like that just aren't updated. So I don't know. I'd like to see something like that where you take old boring things, make them new. Like trading is a perfect example. Where they could really, there's a lot of people who would love a trading rework, and
trading work too soon, dude.
Yeah. Apparently that's going to be in the back burner forever. This is going to be like the little carrot that's going to keep on dangling every Heidel and Caltheon ball. Like, well, we're not done with it yet. All right. I don't have anything else. What do you want to talk about? I'm grinding for skill points right now. The skill point event, you get 300 skill points from the Mysterious Knight. Been using that to get skill points on all my characters.
Yeah, nice. I kind of mixed it up. I did a couple characters at Polly's, then I did a couple characters at wherever you call it, the little not Schultz, but the Marie Cave place, with the little gravestones.
Marie Cave.
Yeah, and then now I'm kind of goofing off at Fogan's on the Mela right now.
Which Fogan's you at?
The regular, the OG Desert Fogan's.
Ooh, how good is that? I hear it's this like the trash loot's okay, but everything else is garbage.
I'm mostly just here for just mix it up for skill points. I don't too much care or I haven't done any actual silver grinding in a while. I'm just mostly trying out all the classes with the tag event, basically.
Right.
So just wherever I can get some skill points, even if it's not the best skill points, of course, it's just to mix it up instead of just spamming freaking, whatever you call it.
Polyforest.
Yeah, instead of spamming Polyforest and Sulfur and stuff.
That's what I'm doing now. I've been stuck here forever, man. I thought 1,000 skill points, I'd be like, I'm never coming back here to Polyforest again. And I uploaded my tier list video to YouTube, and they're like, 1,000 skill points is not enough. I heard it over and over and over and over and over again. So here I am, and we're going to go for 1,500 in every class and see if the YouTube comments complains about that. If they complain about that, then I'm just going to delete their comments.
Censorship.
Yup. I am the one with the power. Speaking of YouTube, if you guys haven't checked out the new YouTube channel, we have a new YouTube channel for Nerds and Words if you want to watch it and catch up on old episodes and hear Push-Up's bad takes. It's all up there. I have tested Centaurs. I tested Centaur this week. It is not 400 mil an hour. Sad to say. If you are
People were saying it was 400 mil an hour.
there's a lot of people who were saying it was 400 mil an hour. YouTube videos were saying it. A lot of the newer players were being convinced this because of people putting out kind of like montage videos saying how much like they can make type stuff. Like they do like a 15-minute test, 30-minute test, an hour test, and say, look, it's possible. So I tested it out though, and Centaurs is with yellow loot scroll around 200 to 250 mil an hour. Now, the caveat to that, if you're like a Musa with good gear score or like some other crazy fast class like a Zerka Succession, you can pull up to like 300 mil an hour with yellow loot scroll, which means with blue loot scroll and Agris, you can actually pull up to 400 with those unique classes. But your average class is only pulling 300 with blue loot scroll and Agris. So it really is class dependent and a little gear score dependent, you know. But it's really, you know, neighborhood is more like 250, like 200 to 250 for most people. And then for tryhards, you know, and using everything you can, blue loot scroll and all of that would be more like 300, maybe 350. So.
Yeah, I try my best to stay away from silver averages at the Valencia spots just because like Agris is a finite resource and not everyone can afford to spam yellows. So it's like I really try to stay away from like averages at places like Sulfur Mines, Centaurs, Cadre, stuff like that. Especially because like there's that caveat, right? Of like how much Agris did you use and how many yellow loot scrolls do you have access to?
Well,
so I kind of stay neutral on those.
I kind of agree with your point there, but there's an additional point to Centaurs, and that is that it uses around 10,000 Agris an hour, which means if you go there and you have it all saved up, you can grind for 10 hours there, basically in a row. And if you're really booking it, maybe that's a little bit, you know, maybe more like 7 hours if you're pulling that closer to 400 mil stuff, you know, of fantasies, but yeah, it's actually like I think it's actually reasonable for that, and I think that's worth noting because me going there making 300 mil an hour for some with blue loot scroll is pretty good. I don't have to compete for my grind spot, you know, because right now you have to compete for your grind spot on any of the Elvia grind spots. Just about they're all taken. Everybody's in there with their new class right now. I was actually surprised, like even like Sakurai is taken on our channel. I think the only thing that's open right now is really like Star's End. It seems like Star's End's popularity has fallen off really hard. So it seems like the only real open one.
It's more so just because like it makes sense just because like Star's End it's like why go to Star's End for which you need an RNG jackpot drop to be good, and it's definitely still solid if you're getting the RNG jackpot drop, but you could just go to places that aren't RNG and make more.
Yep.
So it's kind of like you do have those crazy hours every now and then where you're like, shit, I got 3 distos that hour and it feels really good. But
yeah, it makes sense. Have you guys tried the statues at Star's End? Those things hit like a truck.
I have not gone there.
Yeah, you need at least 360 DP on those, and even at 360 plus, you still get hit super hard.
I went in there with like 400. I was going to record a video for Law in Succession, and I was like, oh, I'll just record on one of these little towers here, and like, I don't know, no one ever does these. These aren't too bad. But I got in there, and they like about wiped me out because I wasn't paying attention really. And
they hit hard.
Yeah, I was very, very surprised by that. I kind of want to know, do you guys know what the income of those are? Are those like actually like worth doing?
So they are hard capped at like 5.1k trash because you're limited by how fast the mobs spawn. But they have higher drop rate for distortion earrings, so it's kind of like it's like an all or nothing kind of thing where like you're gonna get less trash than if you were just doing a regular rotation, but with the higher disto rate, you will get more distos on average. So it's kind of like a in between, and it's also super chill because you kind of just stand still and the mobs pour in.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, I guess this depends on what the disto rate is then, right? Without really knowing that, it's hard to really judge it then. Interesting.
My game crashed. Have you guys been crashing a lot?
Changing characters, I've been crashing a ton.
Yeah.
I just crashed, and then I launched the game. I get to character select, and then I'm there for 2 seconds, and then it just crashes before I even click anything.
I haven't had any bugs where it's crashing me while I'm not changing characters or anything. The one bug I've had is sometimes in certain grind spots, my FPS was like lock up. It would like lock up and I get like 0 FPS and it'll freeze for like a second or two. But it hasn't been enough to crash my game quite yet.
So odd.
It's probably like a certain action that's crashing you. That's what happened to me the other day was with the I don't know what that was, the Chlorant's travel bag. If you would put anything into it, it would just lock up and your game would just like slowly degrade and then crash.
That's so
Yeah,
odd.
that did happen. And the tent was doing it too.
Yeah, it was tent, pet inventory, and Chlorant's travel bag. Apparently they use the same game code for all three, so that's, I guess, terrifying to know. It's really hoping that there's a slightly better programmed.
Yeah, I've been crashing especially a shit ton in RBF, but that's always been a thing. Like RBF crashing has been a thing for years now.
Yeah.
But I know there's like 150 people right now doing the Valencia RBF thing. That's kind of cool to see.
Is the RBF crash still when you click like respawn too quickly after you die? Is that still what it is?
Yeah, respawning, and then sometimes just like when you're like there's too many AoEs going on around you, especially because like I pretty much only play on remastered. So like when you have a lot of like mages and DKs and stuff throwing out their particle effects, it can like crash your shit.
Did not know that. Yeah, I'm getting to the point where I feel like I kind of need a PC upgrade. I keep getting more and more hitches in BDO, and I think it's a BDO issue, but I think also having a better PC would cause it to happen less often.
So expensive right now, dude.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's. I don't even think it's gonna go down though anytime soon. So it's like,
I don't know.
You know, I gotta start saving up a little at a time or something, right?
I have an old 1080 and a 1060, I believe. So I'm thinking about selling those for a couple $100 because they have good value.
I bought my 1080 Ti almost 5 years ago now, and nah, it's been like 3.5, 4 years now, and the price that they're going for now is almost about what I paid 4 years ago, which is crazy to think, dude. Like, what the?
It makes me want to sell my 1080 because I have a Solar 1080 Ti's, and it makes me want to sell one because I'm like, do I really need to? Can I sell one and just like save that money from buying a better one in like a year or two from now? Like, I don't know. Like, I've been thinking about it really hard. Apparently, they think that the chip shortage thing will probably start getting a little better in 2023, if that's any consolation.
Yeah, it's because they're building the silicone for a little silicon facility or whatever, and it's not going to be done until around then, I think.
Wait, where are they building one at?
2024. In the U.S., somewhere in the U.S.
Really? That's good.
Yeah.
I guess China is going to finally they've made this chip shortage artificially, and now they're going to stick it to the man. No, apparently Japan's doing one too. I heard about that one. I didn't know they were doing one in America. That's awesome.
Yeah. I forget where it was. Somewhere, it may have been Texas. I forget, but they're building one because right now, so I got a couple buddies IRL that work in like selling cars. And they've been having like the chip shortage has been affecting car sales as well. Like they've been rebuying people's cars that they recently sold them, paying them more than they paid for it, just because they can resell them for even higher. So like the old car market is kind of like been exploding in the last year as compared to the new car market, just because of the shortage. So it's kind of like an interesting thought that it's like affecting mainstream shit as well. Because I use the chips for the car for new vehicles and stuff as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's actually like you can see from some satellite images from space, you can see like car lots of this thousands of cars piled up waiting for like one part from like a ship or like, you know, a computer chip or something that's like behind, because all the tinking systems are like behind from shipping and stuff, from shortages from one thing or another. Some of that stuff is kind of it's kind of scary because it's like China is like, we want to like, we have a power crisis, so we're turning off electricity to like a third of China this week, and then because they turn off the power to a third of China, then it's like, oh well, now there's no chips coming across for our car or whatever, you know. So like some crazy weird things. All right, I don't have anything else. You guys want to wrap up?
I think that's it.
All right.
Just waiting for the content.
Yeah. So that has been Nerds and Words, episode 68. Glad to have you guys on here. Thank you so much for the being able to make it on last minute notice. I messaged both these guys yesterday and I'm like, hey, you want to do an episode? They're like, yeah, we'll do one. That's fine. So thank you for being very generous with your time and on the short notice. What are you guys up to this week? Kerr, what you got going on?
Do nothing. Just still doing freaking Tag Mania. Just playing a bunch of different classes here and there, and then I don't know. That's about it.
Taking
Trying
advantage of the 10 mil tag, huh?
Yeah, taking advantage of the damn near free tag, and then trying to find some other games to play on the side too. So pretty good. Just another chill week.
Awesome. Blonde Bear, I'm assuming you're going to be at Olin Valley. How many hours are you up to now?
I'm right now doing hour 982.
Oh
That is
my
the hour
gosh.
I'm currently grinding actively right now.
My goodness. Well, congrats on your long grind. I hope you get your Rich Merchant Ring piece at long last this week.
Goodness.
We need to make it happen on an episode where you're just grinding here with us, and then you're just like, oh, just get it.
Right now. It could
Yeah.
happen right now.
That's what needs to happen. We just need to kill that mob, drop it.
This one. Drop it, Colin, drop it. You know.
You know what's gonna happen? The first hour you grind with Potion's gonna get it.
No, he'll
Been
never grind me with me
scared.
again. It happened at
I've been-
Toro's.
I've been scared to grind with like newer people at Olin's because that is my fear that because there's a lot of people who just have that, I guess, seeded RNG or whatever that they get it like immediately. Some guy got 2 lungs in 1 pack this other week, and then some other guy got Merchant Ring piece like 5 minutes into the grind. So,
Bro, I have good drop RNG, but I have the worst RNG that's ever existed for enhancing. I don't know. Like I click 13 TED accessories, none of them go. It's just it's a mess. All right, so comes around, goes around. Yeah, I hope you get it though. Bad jokes aside, I hope you actually get your Richmond Ring piece.
one day. I'm not mad about anybody getting lucky or anything. I'm just kind of, it's nice free money, and I like to spot. I just would like to stop spamming DMs. I think that's the thing I'm looking forward to, is not having to pre-set up groups. Like I scheduled a group with J-Kun 2 weeks ahead, just to make sure I could like get a grind session on my day off. Like I don't like doing that. As much as I love grinding with anybody and everybody, and grinding with people, it's just I'm tired of having to DM people all the time. I'd like to just have a day off and not like feel like I'm trying to push for it. But I feel like because it's closing in and there's so many people getting it, like now choice is literally just got to get this in crypt, and crypt could be literally 5 minutes. You know what I mean? So just wanting to get it done because I know so many people are hyped up for it, and I'm ready to get it done.
Absolutely. Well, for me this week, I'm going to be trying to finish up this YouTube video. I've been kind of going on a YouTube bonanza, so been getting a whole bunch of those out. Going to try to finish up the video. I want to do like a class video where it kind of overview, because I made this short tier list video, and honestly, I didn't explain enough in it, and just made people more mad, I think, than anything else.
Yeah.
So
People just look at it in there.
Yeah.
What the?
So a 5-minute video was not enough fodder from the fire back at me. So I'm going to give them a 20 to 30-minute video, and then they'll have lots of things to be angry with that. So that's the plan right now. I'll be working on that next couple of days. Hopefully get that done. That's about it for me. Testing up different classes, getting their skill points up, getting a little better at their grind, refining the tier list. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys again for joining me.
The tier list continues, baby.
It does. That's about it for me this week, and that is episode 68 of Nerds and Words. Thanks for being here, everyone.
Thank you.